Up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Nobody is coming to save you. Get up. Be your own hero.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. I want to welcome everybody here tonight. Still getting a few things on here that I wanted to share with everyone here tonight. It's going to be kind of cool. So anyway, I didn't go blind, and I watched the entire eclipse with my bare eyes, which was actually the best way to see it. Once my eyes, I'm used to looking at the sun, and once I got it, into focus, how I usually do, I actually saw it come in and start swallowing the sun. What I didn't see, however, was any object actually approaching the sun. And then as it came over, we got a little bit of a sliver on the left side, and then as it went like up across the moon, it came in from like the west, it seemed like, and as it went up, then it almost looked like there toward the end, like how the shape of the devil emoji is on your phone, that same little up there, and then it was gone. But it was really quite interesting, and we get a little bit of cloud cover, and as the clouds would come over, it kind of filtered it to where you could see it even better. But it was really quite interesting. We didn't get dark sky here. We didn't get all that like they talked to us. There's my friend Something Wong. He's back there eating noodles right now. That's what that noise is. And those people are very loud when they eat noodles and fat soup, I think is what he's having tonight, is on the menu. Got a couple people, saw some things in the chat. Let me give a few shout outs. I've already got people backstage. Holy sheep shit. Let's see. Use your welding helmet. Good. Yeah, my son did the same thing. He got some good photographs using a welding helmet. Yeah, I just once trying to get shit focused in and everything, And the way it was just like, whatever, we'll get what we get. And what I would find is in the lens flare, you would see more of what was actually occurring as opposed to the actual object. But staring at it with my bare naked eyes, man, bare naked eyes too. It was pretty awesome, man. Watched the entire thing. I sat out there. It got to where my neck was starting to hurt. So I ended up laying down. I was out there barefoot most of the time while I was watching. And then I laid down in the grass and watched. And my dogs thought that was awful fun because they always want to come over there and start licking on my face and shit while I'm trying to look up at the sky. But hey, you know, that's what we do. So I've got Luca back here, backstage with us here tonight too. How you doing tonight, Luca?
I'm doing good.
What do you think about that? And oh, here's what I'm kind of upset about, man. Jesus did not come back. I like mowed my grass for nothing, man. I have a cake and a welcome home Jesus banner that is like gonna go to waste, I'm afraid. So that's pretty cool. I also got Flow State back here. How you doing, Flow State? And then I got Larry Bada Bing Bada. What the fuck? Let me see what that
Bada bing, bada boom.
I think so. Let me see what it says. Bada boom ba. Larry
Oh, bada
Ba.
bing, bada boom, ba.
I don't know. We'll bring him up tentatively. See what's going on. What's going on,
Bada
Larry?
bing, bada
Flow
boom,
State,
ba.
guys, what's up?
What up? That Jesus is notoriously unreliable, isn't he?
I'm telling you what, man. I'm telling you. I was like all set. We made cake. I cut the lawn. You know, and we had a banner that said "Welcome home, Jesus," and nothing happened. No, I'm just,
I must like.
no, it's a thing. What they do
doesn't
say about
exist
that
anymore.
is that it's actually, you know, bringing in signs. But I'll tell you the thing that got me, and this was just like with the last eclipse that I watched, and I saw a partial where I was in California, and the thing is that where the fuck was the rest of the moon? It was like the only part that you see is when it's uncut, when it's covering the sun. That's the only what? It just didn't make any sense to me. And then all of a sudden it's just here's this darkness, or it's just like it's swallowing up the sun, like it's eating the sun away. And like I said, it wasn't a dark sky, and that appeared to be like the same color as the sky all around it, you know, where that was at. It was pretty crazy. How you doing, Larry?
Hey, how's it going?
Good,
Thank you
good.
for having me on.
Right on, right on. Did you get to witness the eclipse yourself?
I did. I got to witness it. It was fascinating. Who knows what's going on up there? Yeah, it was beautiful. For me, I'm in Illinois, so it got kind of dark, but not like really dark, you know. So
yeah, we got more of kind of like a surreal daylight. You know, I don't know how else to describe it. It was still kind of like sunny, but it wasn't, you know, like it was dimmer. It was really kind of weird. But I was so busy just staring at that, and it would be like I was like, oh man, all of a sudden, I mean, we had beautiful clear skies, and then all of a sudden, wham, all these clouds came in. And I was like, oh, that's gonna fuck that up. But what I noticed is as it went behind clouds, you could see it even better. You know, what's up, Flow State?
yeah.
Man, I'm just hearing the rest of my girlfriend's burrito bowl before she gets home.
Oh,
We went to Chipotle. We went to
Are you
Chipotle. She
supposed
didn't eat all her leftovers, and now she's not at the house, so I got to eat it really quick before she gets home.
Oh man, are you not supposed to eat it?
She left it in the mini fridge,
It's
and she
open.
left
Yeah,
the house.
game.
If it's in the mini fridge, it's fair game.
Yeah.
But am I the only one who started shooting at the demon bats flying out of the moon during the eclipse?
I didn't shoot at him. I didn't have a license for him. So you know, if I would have known that it was demon bat season, I'd have been right out there. What were you using? I would have used a shotgun.
Well, I'm a felon, so basically like a nail gun.
Oh, okay.
Oh my.
You can have an air gun.
Like a BB gun or
Yeah.
something?
I can have air guns.
Never
I just hooked the old
underestimate
DeWalt's
one
up
of
to the
those.
air compressor and was shooting at the demon's bats. And then once I started shooting at them, then the Eclipse started leaving. So
There you go. Then and that was it. How do you know it wasn't my
it
sacrifice?
might have been Jesus, actually, in hindsight. Now that you mentioned Jesus never showed up, I might have been shooting at the wrong thing.
That's probably why he didn't show up. It's like they were angels, and you were like, "Oh, I'm going to shoot this fucking crazy dude down there shooting at us." So yeah, did you see the rest of the moon outside of the sun as it passed in front of it?
No.
I did
Just
not.
commented why you wouldn't.
What's that?
Luca just said
commented
he's explaining why you wouldn't.
in chat, you know, and out in the studio chat,
Can I ask
Well,
a
this is
question?
a panel discussion. Maybe you could.
in the panel chat, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's it. Let me see. What do you got? Something there?
Sunlight and visibility.
Yeah, but look, the sunlight is illuminating the earth. This is only a swath being blocked out about 110, 120 miles, which is weird because it was 70 miles last time. That's a heavy duty fucking increase. I'm just saying, you know, that thing's got to be really on a hell of an elliptical orbit for it to be changing that much. But yeah. See, Luca, you're just pulling up shit. Stop blocking up the chat with your fucking chat GPT.
Yeah, I didn't mean for that to happen.
It's AI bullshit. I'm not
don't know
interested in what
I
AI.
don't know what's happening.
I'm interested in what people actually observed.
Yeah,
That's what I'm looking at.
It doubled my message for some reason. Chat.
Was it just the Missing Link? I was watching the Missing Link stream during some of it, and his chat was interesting because he was streaming during it. Of course, he's in Canada, and nothing good happens in Canada, so you couldn't really see it. But he had people in chat from all around the globe saying where the sun was for them, and it was just interesting hearing them correspond. You know, somebody in New York was like, it's setting, and you know, just that moon was in a lot of places, or the sun was in a lot of places at the same time, according to the globe model.
Whoa.
Can I ask a question for people that look at the sky more than me? So when the moon finishes the waning or waxing, right, and then it goes into the new moon, as we call it. Can an amateur person? So, for example, sorry to change what I was saying. Right now, I just watched the moon set. That's why I was kind of late because I was watching the moon set, and you can still see a faint. Huh?
How much of it was there? It would only be.
It's like a little devil horns, you know.
Okay, it's just a little tiny splinter because it was in a new moon yesterday. I'm surprised that it's back out already.
And so as my eyeballs sees the faint circle, but during the new moon, my eyeballs always see nothing. Like there's no circle.
There's nothing. There's no black circle blocking out the sun, or
so
blocking out the stars. Like if you look out on a starry night during a new moon, you look in the direction of where the moon should be at, and there's nothing blocking a circle of the stars out or anything else like that, or a dark sphere in the sky. It's just like, and from what I'm told, it's not even detectable by infrared.
And then that's crazy. And those old books, those old holy books like Enoch and stuff, they talk about portals and stuff. I'm like, where's the moon? Where? And it's so fascinating. It's so crazy.
It is. And they say that now, what was this? This thing was Rahu, is what the Babylonians say was what comes around and covers up the sun.
Right. They talk about that node stuff, but I haven't looked deep into that stuff. It's hard for me to grasp my head around it. You know,
that's one of the Vedic astrology components, right? Rahu and Ketu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because since I've gotten into this stuff, you know, I don't think the moon's a rock. So when I'm like with the lunar eclipse, I'm like, why is the moon turning red? What's that all about? Like, what could be going on there? It trips me out. It's crazy.
Well, it's like this. This is exactly what we're talking about right here. If I pull this up,
And is that true? They say that the recent lunar eclipse, it like didn't happen. What? That's crazy.
It didn't.
Let me see.
Yeah, it didn't. And the fucking Globies don't want to talk about that.
That's crazy. Absolutely
It
crazy.
did.
They certainly don't want to talk about it. But see this down here on the
saw
bottom
it.
left? That's what you should see.
I
Not
saw
this
it
shit
happen.
that's on the right. I mean, that's only the opposite of, the crescent's the opposite, but that's almost identical to what I saw happening as I stared at the sun. And I'm glad that I'm used to doing that. I'm glad I'm used to staring.
I saw videos of the eclipse, so it definitely did happen.
Yeah, this one, what, the lunar eclipse? Not the lunar eclipse, you didn't, because it didn't fucking happen.
No, it did.
No, it didn't.
It did.
No,
happened
Luca, it did not.
4th or something. I don't know. I don't remember when, but it happened like.
Yeah, it
a
was
few
supposed
weeks
to.
ago now.
It was supposed to. And I forget who they are. There's about 4 or 5 different channels that were trying to live stream it. FE Nation's one of them. FE Nation is famous for being out in the filming the moon. You know damn sure he's not going to miss a fucking lunar eclipse. Nothing happened. People out in California even get up, try to catch it at the same time. Nothing, man. And nobody talking about that shit whatsoever. They just doing like
really
you.
watch this guy. I just argue about it.
Said it happened, so it happened. No. What did you say, Taylor?
Or I don't really watch this guy. I just argue about it a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I watch it, and I know fundamentally what's going on, and I can point you in the direction of, pretty obvious constellations and shit like that. But as far as being like an avid star watcher or anything else like that, I actually get caught up in my mind when I stare at the night sky. I really do. I find it hard to really concentrate on.
Yep.
Wow,
you can't get yourself to shut up even when you're trying to.
No, I mean, in my mind, I start, contemplating what the fuck am I actually looking at, that kind of thing, is instead of, okay, so this is such and such a star, and this is such and such a star, and next month they're going to be here, whatever the fuck. Man, I'm not even getting into that. I'm sitting there going, what the fuck is that called that for? What is it am I actually looking at? Why do these things have names of sentient beings? That's what blows me away.
It's just names.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Why is a table called a table? Right.
That's because we always name places supposedly after people and gods, right? Like, I'm sure you've been to Zeus, Montana, or some of these other. Come on, dude, give me a break.
It's just a name.
Every single fucking one of them, dude. You're such an apologeticist, man. You're like one of the biggest apologeticists for these clowns that I've ever seen, man. And you get all your information from an artificial intelligence that was programmed by the same bozos that are fucking running this bullshit on you.
Nope.
I don't
wasn't
understand how you
programmed by the
don't
same
see that,
bozos that run this bullshit.
What's that?
There's no bullshit, so.
Yeah, it is bullshit.
been.
Garbage in, garbage out. Do you not understand what AI actually is? It's not actual intelligent. Okay? It's just really fast computing.
Look,
It is.
it gave. Okay, can you debunk what it's saying?
Yeah,
about the
we have. Like, for
lunar
instance, it will
eclipse?
tell you
What?
it will tell you that the fucking lunar eclipse happened last month, and eyewitnesses say and show with video evidence that it did not happen. Okay, so what's
Well, it
going on
must
with
have.
that? Now, back when you used to be able to jailbreak ChatGPT, you could jailbreak ChatGPT, and then they had to fix that because that thing was spitting out all kinds of fucking truth, and they couldn't have any of that. So it can only work within the parameters of the control system sets for it, and that's what you don't get. You place too much unwarranted faith and trust in these prescribed authoritative
people-
sources.
And people that should definitely know what they're talking about.
Like why? They? Does that mean that
Yes,
they do?
should.
Just
They've
because
studied
someone
this thing
should?
for
And
years.
how do you know someone should be talking about what? How do you
Because
know?
they have a PhD in it.
How do you know that? How do you know they just didn't grab some fucking stooge off the street and say, here, you're a PhD, read this fucking script and we'll pay you a certain amount of money?
Because I don't have distrust.
How do you
in
know that?
everything.
You don't. You have absolute trust. You have no skepticism whatsoever.
Yeah,
Somebody will
none.
tell you this is a professor who's a fucking expert in some such and such, and you just go with it because they told you that.
You have an unhealthy amount of.
No, it's not
distrust
unhealthy
in
at all.
everything.
That's not unhealthy at all. Skepticism is one of the healthiest things you can do.
I have a healthy respect for
Skepticism
conflicts of interest in
is
that people act
alright.
in self-serving ways, and it will be very unself-serving for anybody to buck the trend on this.
Mhm. Yeah, we see evidence of that all the time too.
Skepticism can be okay, but you have an unhealthy amount of.
Well, wait a
skepticism.
second. Let me ask you a question, Luca. Have these clowns ever fucking lied to us before? Yes. The answer is yes.
You're telling me it wasn't safe and effective?
Have they done it on multiple occasions? Yes. Okay. So
When?
what does that mean? So what does that do to the trust?
When?
Safe and effective.
When did they lie?
Okay, safe and effective. How about that? That's the most recent.
What? What's that one?
Oh my
You know
god,
what that
Luca.
Is Luca a real person? Have we seen
Yeah,
Luca?
Luca, do you believe in any conspiracy?
Are you AI? Is Luca AI itself?
I don't
Might
believe
as
in
well
any
be. He relies on
conspiracy
it.
theories,
He
no.
relies on it heavily.
Yeah, Luca, I think the people know what they're talking about. It's just malevolent.
1980, human genome. Oh, more than only 20% of the human genome is viable DNA. The rest is junk DNA. Jump up to 2010. Oh, we found out that it's not junk DNA. It actually works in fucking sequences. And we've already fucked with it. So too late. Yeah, okay. Safe and effective. Uh-huh. Yeah, right. If you
The
remember the last
entire
years.
century of
Safe and
climate
effective
science.
means it's been thoroughly tested.
Well, it was
and
it.
reviewed.
Was it by their own admission? It wasn't. By their own admission, they fucking lied, Luke.
I'd like to see that.
Well, you ought to start paying attention and get your nose out of the robot's ass. That's what your problem is.
What do you think a robot's ass smells like? Electricity.
Nothing, because it doesn't have a physical butt.
Burned oil.
It doesn't
Come
have
on,
a
Luca.
physical butt, so it wouldn't smell like anything.
Yes, it would smell like oil.
But it's
Shit
not
out.
physical.
Shit out used batteries, man.
I'm still
It's
not
not
entirely
physical,
convinced Luca's
so-
a real person.
Oh, okay. Here's another one.
Other one that's on to you?
Now another one that doesn't believe that I'm, like a real person. Yeah, that's true.
But are
what-
you real?
what would I need
I
to
used
do
to think that about
think
Cage.
I'm
You
a
know
real
Cage,
person?
don't you?
God, yes.
I used to think Cage was AI because, he knows a lot of information, but his social skills were really like wonky.
I use AI, so maybe that's why
We
you're getting
know.
confused.
We know. Yeah, Luca, look
Yeah.
at the chat.
Maybe you're
Read
getting
the room,
confused
bro.
because you use the AI.
Now, here's what I'm talking about right here. Watch this thing. This is pretty fucking cool.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So there's what no one has ever witnessed the approach or departure of the moon during an eclipse. Now watch this.
Oh, what's up, Luca?
That's what you should see.
Shirt off.
It's a
and
real
This is
person.
what we really see. This is what we really see right now.
everything. This guy's debating round earth with his shirt off.
It's a real naked person. Okay, I stand corrected.
All right, you got to put a
Real-
shirt
he is
on, bro.
naked.
Yeah, dude, what is this?
And Luca, why are you being naked in front of the open blind?
You gotta put a shirt on, bro. Put a shirt on and come back. There you
This
go.
isn't that kind of a stream, Luca.
I'm not naked. I'm wearing pants.
Yeah, but that was bad enough, man.
But
No, I'm
look
not.
at what Sovereign Soul's playing, Luca. Like you can see a daytime moon, even if it's close to the sun. You can always see it. But then they're saying the new moon is actually there. You can never see the new moon though.
No, look, watch this thing, man. This is fucking nuts. Watch this. Look, where is it? Where the frick is it?
Where's what?
The moon.
The moon, dude.
It's in front of the sun. I can.
Where
see
did
right
it go?
there.
Why is it not here?
Because
Why is it not over here?
I commented that. Hold on, let's see.
No, Chat
Sunlight.
GPT did.
Sunlight
It's
and
really
just
weird.
load it.
Look. There it is approaching. There it is approaching.
Yeah.
Where's the rest of the fucking moon at, Luca?
Well, why can't you see stars during the daytime?
Dude.
They're there. You just
Dude.
can't see them because it's too
Oh,
bright.
shut
But
up.
you can see the moon in the daytime.
You
see the
can.
moon in the daytime all the
sometimes,
time. We see the moon in the daytime all the time, Luke.
You can sometimes, not all the time though.
I see it all the time in the
the
daytime.
times line up. It's about when it rises.
You can't tell me that there's the rest of a fucking object filling out this space to make a sphere. Watch that shit. There ain't no
You know what's
way. Watch.
interesting? This is sort of a tangent, but if I have my girlfriend drive, I've spent my whole adult life driving the car. If you have somebody else driving ride shotgun, you see so much more sky than when you're watching the road.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's one of those
Don't
things that's so stupidly obvious, but that you just never think about until you do it. You're in the passenger seat going, "Oh damn, clouds and shit."
Where's the rest of that fucking thing at? Look, that's insane. When I first looked at it, I stared at it with my bare eyes because I couldn't get nothing to come in on my camera, right? And I looked at the clock and I was like, well, that thing's supposed to be starting. And I started staring at the sun. And then as my eyes became adjusted to it, then I saw it starting in. But from where I saw it, it came up from right down here at the bottom, which as I was looking, that would be like west. Yeah, it came in from the west. And then it went across like that, but it went up. It went up like that. And so I only got like this little sliver over here on the right or on the left-hand side. And then up here, this part ended up being cut away right here, like it is right here. If you turn this 90 degrees clockwise, that's what I ended up seeing toward the end of it. So I don't know where this was taken from, but still, where the fuck is the moon?
You been kicking Joe Cool out lately?
I ain't kick him out of nowhere, man. He got mad and quit the other night. The last time he was on here, I think. I've had to put him backstage because he keep interrupting before. Like if you don't stop that, I'm going to put you backstage.
Every time you do that, he comes to my panel.
Where'd Luca go?
Oh yeah, where do you?
Probably to find some clothes or close his curtains. Probably.
I hope the fuck so. Your camera
Have
would.
Chat GPT render him a shirt.
Yeah, I know. And what I did get though is in my in the sundogs that appear in your camera lens. I started seeing you could actually see the eclipse happening in the sundog, but in the actual image of the sun itself, you couldn't see any of it actually happening. But it was cool. I still got some cool video because like when it went behind the clouds, you could see it really good. So I've got some good video there. So I'll have to upload that and sort it all out and clip it and all that good shit. Well, yeah, we had a good time with it. My wife was kind of disappointed and she can't stare at the sun very long. So she was like, I don't even see anything. I expected the sky to get dark and shit. Now I actually did too, but it basically was like a surreal daylight, so I didn't really see it. It was
kind of eerie.
Yeah.
I was asleep because I'm on these late night streamer schedule. And I was still asleep at the crack of like 1:30, and Katie walks in. She's like, "Here's some food." She threw my mask at me. Put that on. All right, here we go.
Is this another one? What is this? Somebody's showing the different planets and shit that were in the sky at the time, I think.
That's cool.
Oh, is that the
I'm
comet?
having to drop down. I've got a prior commitment, but I wanted to jump up and say the homie.
Yeah, man. Good to have you, Flow State. Been a little bit.
And if it's slow, I'll be back. I'm not doing a stream tonight, so I might do a little panel hopping.
All right, man. Well, you're always welcome here.
Oh, what's up? It's just me and you, Sovereign Soul?
Yeah, so far. So I don't know what this one is, but this is from somebody.
Okay. How do you feel about this common thing? They talk about those orbs. You can already see it at the bottom.
This right here?
Yeah, or is it like from the camera?
I wonder, I wonder.
There's that very popular video from the plane where it really looks like separate from the camera movement. It's so interesting.
Yeah, that is. Listen, I think they about had it right in ancient times. This whole keeping people in this heliocentric mind trap has really got people's fucking heads jumbled, man. It's hard to get this stupid solar system out of people's heads.
Oh yeah,
it's hard to get them onto the idea that the sun is not this magnificently huge thing. Get that all out of your brain. None of that is real. You see, and that's really got a hard hold on people, because then they keep trying to put the flat Earth into a heliocentric model, and it's like, no, stop with all of that. Okay, that's not what's occurring. Okay.
Yeah, it's insanity.
But I don't know. I haven't seen this one myself yet.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, cool. The planets and stuff. What? Is that an Elon Musk thing?
Wow. The hell was that, man?
Yeah, that was weird looking.
Is that comet?
Oh, I don't know. I really have no clue.
I wasn't able to see it. I haven't seen the comet yet. I might go out and see if I can find it later on tonight.
Me neither. I've never seen a comet. I've been into this stuff for about 4 years of.
Well, I remember the one that came around when them people all put on tracksuits and ate poison.
What?
The Hale-Bopp comet. Those people, the Heaven's Gate people, remember them?
Okay, I've heard of Heaven's Gate as a cult before, but anyway.
Oh yeah. They all like committed suicide when the comet came over because they were going to go get on the comet, I guess.
Oh wow. Okay.
But yeah, and they all wore like the same track suits and tennis shoes, and they were all like laying in their beds. And
are these different from meteor showers?
Yeah, I don't know what they actually are myself, but the claim by the space people is that it's a huge piece of ice, and that there's pieces of it coming off because of its proximity to the sun, and this is why it's got this tail. And I don't believe any of that. I think that they're actually signs in the heavens to mark events and shit, harbingers, so to speak.
Just as a basic question, like when you say, "Oh, I saw a meteor shower versus a comet," do your eyes see different things? Like,
well, meteor showers, I've seen those, and those come in and they just streak through, and it's a pretty cool little light show. I have no idea what's occurring there. I know it's not little rocks from space. That's ridiculous. But when a comet actually stays visible, I remember the Hale-Bopp comet, you could see it. It was as bright as a full moon.
wow.
And it was, just there it was in the sky. You know,
Yeah, I
really
wonder
kind
what
of
like
weird looking.
what is that light? Is it like the
I don't know.
source of it? Like, and then the moon. See, I never really even thought about, you know, how like the moon and the sun, they're like opposites. Like the sun, it like hurts to stare at. The moon, it's more like hypnotizing, and the cool light versus the warm light.
Mhm.
It's like I also don't understand light. Like, how do you even make a light bulb or a laser? So I just wonder, like, what is even going on with, like, is it a source of light? It
I think
also
that
seems,
I think the moon is its own source of light. And
yeah,
I think that's the case, of course, with all the luminaries in the sky. They're not reflecting anything. They're their own sources of light, their own sources of energy. Now, what that actual energy is, how it's created or anything, I don't know. I have
yeah,
no clue, you know.
for sure.
Um,
But if space was real, they day one, people would be like, "Oh, let's just go and double check." You know, I don't believe in any of that stuff. You know, space. And so sorry if it sounds like I'm like asking you like
no,
seriously.
no, no,
You
that's
know, it's just
fine.
it's so interesting to think about, and I want
Yeah, I
to
mean,
talk to
it
like-minded
says,
people about it.
I mean, we're told in ancient texts and various religious scriptures and things like that that there's signs in the heavens for holidays, for feasts, to mark events. Some say as harbingers and messages that are supposed to be interpreted by astrologers. And unfortunately, people don't pay any attention to astrologers. And a lot of people, even in astrology, are still under the idea that these um, luminaries are great distances away and all this other nonsense. And they're not. They're very close. And they do, of course, I believe, have influence. We know the moon. We know that crime rates and suicide rates and shit like that go up during full moons. Um, You know, so I don't know what kind of energy is
Yeah,
being released from them. I believe that our consciousness is directly connected to the sun itself. I do. This is it's part of our energy cycle. It's part of what energizes us. And I realized that when I sun gaze barefoot, like I did during the eclipse yesterday, man, it was just like phew, I felt really good the whole ever since,
oh
you know.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
um
I've since day one, I've started like looking at the sun. I don't want to dox myself, but I know like I was around like a lot of children during the eclipse, and
uh-huh.
like they're just so much fear porn of just don't look at the sun, don't look at the
Oh, I
sun. You know,
know.
like the real fear exists. If a crackhead's chasing you down the street, you should be scared. But
Right.
the Illuminati mainstream, they just put all this bullshit fear. They try to scare everybody, scare, make them scared. They're like little bullies,
They
they're
want
trying to
you
scare
afraid
you.
of nature. They want you
Yeah.
afraid of nature. Yeah. I agree. That's what it is right there. Oh, don't look at the sun. It's your enemy. Block the sun from your skin. Use this chemical and all this other shit.
Right. Oh my
Um,
god.
let's spray stuff in the sky so we can block out this sun. Why are they wanting? I mean, it seems like it's part of this consciousness dimming agenda, which we see going on with additives in our water and in our food and whatnot, as
Mhm.
well as how many people are um, having to run to the pharmacy every fucking month to get their prescription filled. So many are having to do that that there's a whole industry around mail order prescriptions. I
Gee.
remember my dad would get this fucking sack full of all these pills every month come in the mail. And I'm like, holy shit, man, what is it? And I started looking into it and I'm like, why have they got you on this? We started getting you off a bunch of it, man.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, it was insane. And they try to push this as normal. There was a movie came out a few years back where it's a bunch of older actors like Morgan Freeman and some of these guys that are older now, and they all were getting together for one last big hurrah in Vegas, right?
Okay.
And they're all talking on the phone to one another, and each one of them in every scene of them on the phone they've got a little tray, or the one guy's by his medicine cabinet with their fucking pills. And one of the guys you're talking to on the phone, he's got one of those little sorters that go by the days of the week and shit, and they're eating, And I'm like, they're really trying to normalize that.
Yeah.
Like that you get to a certain age, you should be on a number of prescriptions.
Oh my goodness, no! When you're a kid, get them on ADHD meds.
Yeah.
And every teenage girl's on every antidepressants, and it's crazy,
Hey, there's Ironton Auditor. What's happening, Terry? Terry. Quite contrary. Good.
Even when you're a little kid, they give you the you know what. And so
yeah. Oh fuck yeah, that's all they do, man. I found this fella here's got an interesting take on this shit.
Okay.
See what he's got going on.
Oh wait, dude, I can't hear it. I was like kind of tripping out, just staring. Yo, Sovereign.
Wow.
Hey, wait, I think when it was playing, I was like trying to get your attention. I think you couldn't hear me because when it was playing, it was muted for me.
Okay, would you
But now I can hear you. So like just letting you know, like for the audio, like you started the video and then it was like I got muted and I also couldn't hear the video, and then the video ended and it was like back to normal.
Oh,
I was like trying to tell you, I'm like, hey, I can't hear it.
All right, let's see if it works this time.
Okay, yeah, try again.
Let's see.
No, it's still not working.
Are we not hearing that? Hang on.
It's not working for me. Maybe the YouTube chat people can say if it's working for you.
Everybody, it's muted on the video. All right, hang on.
Okay.
I got also share video. Okay, audio. All right, so that's what we want right there. Oh, I know why, because I was doing a screen share probably.
What the Bible says, it talks about the sun being.
Oh, you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it now.
We'll start it over then. Dadgummit, we're how about now, guys? Everything good? Hanson, everybody's no sound. Okay, Benjamin says it's good. Good go.
So you don't think anything happened crazy during the eclipse today? Well, are you sure you were paying attention? Because I captured something crazy. This is the sun. That's a lens flare. So you tell me what that is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lens flare. And I've been saying for a while that the sun we see is just a projection from the sun in the firmament. And not only did I catch it, but my friend Brandon Thomas, who has the Expanding Reality podcast, used a solar filter and not only caught one, but he caught two. And you guys might not be Bible believers, and that's okay, because I wasn't either until I realized we didn't live on a globe. But if you look at what the Bible says, it talks about the sun being in the firmament. And not only that, but there being layers of the firmament. So if the sun was in the firmament, maybe we are seeing the reflections in the different layers of the firmament, where usually we just see the projection right here. And usually we can never see that reflection because the sun is so bright that it washes everything out. But when it's partially eclipsed, as seen by the lens flare, we see. And if you're an intellectually honest person and you see things like this that don't make sense in the heliocentric model, you really need to ask yourself, do I continue to believe what I've always believed, or should I seek truth? Truth that might just set you free and let you know that we're in a place that was created just for us. And the beautiful thing is, the choice is yours. You can stay in your beliefs because it's comfortable, it's comfy, it's a cozy little blanket. Or you can take the hard road and seek truth and true knowledge. But as always, this is my opinion. You know, I'm a Satire account purely for entertainment purposes. And I have to give credit where credit is due. David Weiss, the man who created this app, was the first person to ever show me that the the sun we see might just be a projection from the source inside the firmament. So go download his app. It's a wealth of information involving flat Earth. Use my code FITFLAT when you sign up, and have a good day.
Fascinating. That's what I think. That's what I think. But I would want to, double check first. There's always, you can take from the angle of like going with the ancient books say.
I saw the same thing. I saw the same thing in 2017. I have to get the photographs off of a broken computer. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. And the thing about it too, I saw those same things and I was like, what are these fucking crescent things that I'm seeing? Right. And they seem to be lined up. And as I zoomed in on them, they almost looked digital. Somehow. I mean, it was really weird. It almost looked like it was something digital. This is really weird. I don't even know how to explain this thing.
Okay.
But somebody caught this.
Oh my God. I cannot believe I'm getting this on video. Bitch, I told you.
What? What is
I'm
this?
about to release this shit though. I'm not trying to have somebody follow me. Bro, what in the hell?
Hang on, there's a third one.
I don't know what to make of this one.
I don't either, man.
Is he like a? Is that supposed to be the moon or the sun?
I don't know, man.
That's trippy.
That's some crazy shit, man. I run across some stuff on here, man. It'll just...
Oh, there's crazy stuff. Have you ever seen that video? It could be completely fake. I have no clue. But it's these guys, they're supposedly in Antarctica and they filmed this like weird orb in the sky.
Where was this at?
Supposedly in Antarctica. This video could be completely fake and bullshit. Like, I'll try to find it real quick.
All right.
But yeah, you can keep playing videos and stuff. You have like awesome videos. Like these are crazy.
Cool. This is something a lot of people are talking about too.
Back up.
What's that?
What is that? Bruh.
Look, there's something flying through the air. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
Yo, what the fuck?
Aliens!
Yo.
Back up.
What y'all reckon the fuck that was?
UFO?
There's a couple people got that thing, but then it didn't come out into the clear air, into the clear sky. You followed it on its trajectory and it was not there.
Can I post the thing? Also, please keep posting your videos. Like, I don't want to take over.
Just go ahead and
you
go to present. You go to present down there and it'll pop up on screen. Or down here backstage for me and I can bring it up.
So I click present, it says share screen, video file, slides. I also posted it in the private chat. The link. It's timestamped.
Okay. Let me see.
Do you want to do that one? I'm like,
whoa.
so confused.
Okay, hold up a second here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We don't want to do that. What are we doing here? All right. Crazy. What the fuck is this little spray thing? Squeaky clean. Something. Okay. I'm going to stop that screen. I'm going to present this screen. So this is weird.
Yeah, so it's not, that's like not, if you press play, it'll start. And it's like a,
yeah.
It's trippy, like the, who knows what it is.
And get your feedback. So watch and let us know what you think.
The fuck? Wish they could find a guy with a steady fucking hand.
I know. That's why maybe this is fake and they're trying to give off that horror movie vibe. Pretty weird though. I think David Weiss was talking about this one time.
Well, what
But
am
yeah,
I
pretty
saying?
trippy.
That stays up. Oh, look at here. Beast is with us.
What's up, Beth?
What's up, Beast?
Beast of the East, baby.
Beast of the East.
Okay.
What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? I'm not dead.
Well, how do you know?
Fuck. I guess you're right, man. I might be dead.
Yeah, you could be, right?
I think, yeah, we might all just be dead.
We're just like marching around, carrying on as if nothing ever happened. I don't know. I had a cake. I mowed my grass, had a welcome home Jesus banner up, and nothing happened, man.
You didn't get raptured, man?
I did not get raptured. I did not.
Have
I
either
was
of you
hoping I
guys
would.
seen like stuff from Jay Tolan recently? Do you know Jay Tolan?
I know
heard
who
that.
he is, but I haven't seen. He's got the infrared photography and stuff, but I haven't seen any of his recent stuff.
His recent
Well,
two videos are like nonsensical garbage and nonsensical gibberish. I think a lot of people are concerned he might be like compromised or mental health issues or something. It's really odd. He's talking about how there's plants on the moon, and he's talking about how
Yeah, I heard something about that, about trees, forests on the moon.
yeah, it's very odd and pretty odd. That's all I can say. Because like all of his other videos are, the crazy infrared stuff. He's just like a scientific dude, like just taking pictures of mountains. And then he's released 2 videos now of just pure nonsense, like gibberish. Really,
I heard somebody else kind of in a chat I was in. I kind of, I don't know, overheard or caught briefly what you're saying about his recent videos. So you're not the only one saying it, but I haven't taken the time to look.
Yeah, I just wanted to randomly bring him up. It's interesting.
Yeah, this is what we should have seen right here. This, I agree 100%. Let me show you this. This is exactly what we should have seen.
Yeah.
Right? And you should have seen the moon travel on past the sun too, but we didn't see any of that shit. I didn't. I know I didn't see it. Nobody's video shows that. NASA's shows that, but we know about
Which is
them,
the
right?
odd thing is that I think NASA has that claim that they have a picture like that, but theirs shows the moon, right? And they say it's from a composite of so many and the Earth shine. But it's like, what? Then amateurs should be able to take pictures of the fucking new moon. What the fuck? Whatever. Right. It's bullshit. They fucking write sex in the clouds, and then we're talking about it like we're seriously arguing about it. They're graffitiing bullshit in their pictures to make fun of people. It's crazy. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's such a long one. Yeah, I mean, none of this makes any sense. Did you watch it at all? Did you get to see any of it, or was it just a partial?
In person, you mean?
Yeah, Brian.
Well, it happened here at like 3:12 in the afternoon, and I had to work at 4, so I just headed to work early and got some lunch and sat outside. And when it was going on, it was not really a big deal though.
Oh.
Did you stare at the sun at all?
I did a little bit, and then one of the people here came by with some of those glasses, and I took a look through that. So I saw what that looked like for 30 seconds or something, and that was pretty much it.
Then you had to go on and do Five Guys.
No, only 4 on Mondays.
Oh, okay, all right. I
Yesterday
couldn't
was
believe
Monday.
you, dude. That was so funny because you knew you'd fucking stepped in it. As soon as you said it. You knew you stepped into it.
Yeah, I had that coming.
I was like, yes. Oh my god, that was just laid up there nice. It was like a lobbed in pitch. Bam.
I'm at work right now.
No shit.
Yeah, I'm on break, and I ate my food really fast, so I'm like, I'll jump on Dave's stream and say hi, break up my night a little bit.
Spencer Home asks, "Are there any latest Mandelas?"
Not for me.
I'd have to think about it. But what the newest ones are. You know me, I'm not all about the new ones. I'm more with like the big ones, you know? Like I'm sure there's a lot of newer, smaller ones that I haven't really paid much attention to, but anything like groundbreaking that's new, I don't know right now.
No, there's people all the time uncovering different ones here and there, but yeah, I'm with you on that. Those big ones that, you know, there's just no denying it. You know, there's shit that we remember embedded in our heads that nobody in this world is going to be able to tell you it was never like that, because, you know, I get that same response when you use one of those, you know, like Ed McMahon or the Fruit of the Loom or Berenstein Bears, man, and people go, "Fuck you."
Yeah,
and they'll immediately tell you an anchor memory immediately.
Yep.
You know,
bro, I got no, never mind, no time. I don't have any fucking respect anymore for people that deny this still. I don't care. Whatever. It is what it is. I don't need them. They're in the rearview mirror, all of them.
Right.
Yeah, I'm here to figure out what reality is. No holds barred.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care. You know, I see it. That's good enough for me. You know,
I love it.
And there's a lot of people that see it, and they know it's there. I know it's real. I'm not nuts. We're not nuts when it comes to this shit. So fuck them. Yeah, Stouffer's right. 4-Jack Kraft stovetop stuffing. That's
hey, man, if physical matter can not only change instantaneously, but also retroactively all the way back throughout time to its origin point, that's a fucking big deal for me. That's highly interesting. So, yeah. I don't get off why people want to deny it. Like, just say, yeah, there's something going on for sure, but you know, it's not my favorite thing, or blah 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 blah. But it's always, oh no, that's a psyop. There's nothing going on. It's like, wow, talk about getting gaslit by people.
And how much has happened that we just took the download on and don't even realize?
Yeah, and then how about all the changes I just don't know because those aren't things that I'm into. You know what I mean? Like when people said, what are the new changes? There's probably 1,000 in the last month, but they're probably in the Bible or in some old literature or in some type of TV shows that I don't watch or kids' cartoons, video games, all this stuff's changing, you know?
Exactly. No one's perfect. There's probably stuff I'm falling for, like I'm flawed. And this flat earth stuff and all this conspiracy stuff, it makes me more aware, more like, hey, I gotta watch out for that stuff.
Here's Michelle's how many flip-flop.
What, on flat earth?
No, on Mandela, there's certain effects that flip-flop back and forth.
Oh.
Well, for me, Apollo 13's the granddaddy of them all, as far as that goes. Nothing's even close. Flip-flops where things change.
So what's the story? I haven't heard it. Like, what's the Mandela?
So Apollo 13, the movie with Tom Hanks, right?
Oh,
and the famous quote, Houston, we have a problem. That got Mandela affected, and all the movies changed to Houston, we've had a problem. But after it changed, and people talked about it and made videos on it, and disinformation articles came out to say, oh, you're all just misquoting it, then it changed back to the original.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Nuts, man. Yeah, that's crazy. This Mr. T, and it seems like things that they're connected to change, you know? Like, so you got the A Team. Was that on a stream you and I did? There was somebody came on there and told us that they know Mr. T, and Mr. T is actually
that was that girl Beverly, yeah. The one that called you Big Daddy. She used to date Mr. T. But she says that Mr. T had a vagina, so I don't know what she was doing with Mr. T.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the T is for testosterone, Joe. Yeah, man. I don't know. Now the A-Team thing has changed their van.
But my boss with that, he brought up something about the A-Team. I said, "Oh, A-Team. What color is the van?" He said, "Oh, is this Mandela effect here or something?" I said, "What color is the van?" He said, "All black with a red stripe." I said, "You better check again, buddy."
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's almost trying to make itself obvious, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the silver leg on C-3PO should have been, to me, very obvious, but I couldn't believe how many people say, "Oh, no, that's because it got blowed off in a battle and they replaced it." And I'm like, no, man, the very first scene, okay?
Yep. I think planets in the Bible is a good one. I'd like to talk about that. That's one of my favorites. The
Well,
fact that people just ignore there's any changes and now there's planets in the Bible. I mean, planets wasn't in the Bible.
It
Planet.
was in one version that the Catholics tried to beat them to the press with in 1610, where they used that. And they were trying to get ahead of the King James coming out.
Yeah, well, it's in the King James.
Wow. Well, that
What's
settles
up,
it.
bro?
Man.
Good, man.
That settles it.
You know,
man.
it's interesting. There's a lot of people that are very religious, spiritual, et cetera, but they believe in space. They probably have never even heard of "we can see too far" and stuff, right? But they believe in space, but they firmly just believe that there's no aliens. You know, there's a lot of people that they're kind of in that headspace. You know, it's interesting. Like,
Well,
some people
because
can
that
tell
goes
there's
against
like some
evolution,
bullshit
right?
going on where they're trying to make it seem all evolution, like we all evolved from a fucking Anunnaki, some shit. I don't know, but yeah, that's weird.
Hey, guys, I got to run, but thanks for having me on, Dave. I got to go back inside.
Dude, see you, bro.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on, Brian.
Good talking to you guys. I got an interview tomorrow, but it's not live. So once I get a copy of it, I'll post it on my channel. I'll see you guys after.
Awesome, man. See you
ya.
then. Bye.
All right, out of here.
Wow, that's cool. I was
Yeah.
trying to get my dog to wake up. All the other dogs are going outside, and she's sacked out in her little nest over here. She's
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's poor little gal. She's not getting around as good as she used to, but
Oh,
it's all right. We help her as much as possible. She does pretty good. Anyway, I had this.
okay. Yeah, let's see what's happening during an
We
eclipse.
believe the moon is passing over the sun. It should be, but looking at these filtered images, nothing is there. It matters not what one does with telescope or imagery software. One cannot find a trace of the moon. It is as though the sun eats itself. It's really important you understand the moon is not there. Then you might wake up to the magic and mysticism of this realm we are in.
Have you seen David Weiss's like paper
Totality
towel
during a
eclipse?
The what?
Have you seen like David Weiss's like paper towel eclipse? Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say it reminds me of that. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
full solar eclipse can only be seen from a very small area on Earth. This area is usually about 100 miles or 160 kilometers wide and about 10,000 miles or 16,000 kilometers long. Areas outside this track may be able to see a partial eclipse of the sun. This thin strip is pure flat Earth truth, as a shadow is never smaller than the object casting it. We believe the moon is passing over the.
But that's it. How does it make a shadow smaller than itself? That's ridiculous in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't even understand that. What is this thing?
Yeah. I mean, if it was a rock, it would fall down. Like this is the whole theory is dumb. Like the Big Bang did not happen. There's no space, the solar system.
Right. Well, the whole idea of a Big Bang is really kind of ridiculous, anyways. I mean, it's like, it's just, if you understand the Jesuits' role and this heliocentric model, then you understand what's really going on. Okay. Oh, I gotta clip this. This is our favorite guy. Hang on, I gotta bring this up. Sorry. You like that guy?
I've seen this before.
This guy, he's like,
I'm not missing that dedication in Jerusalem. Without the airplane that we have that I bought from Tyler Perry, and I didn't pay anywhere. And he goes, Tyler's one of the greatest guys. He made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it.
Look at that fucking demon. Look at the dude.
He's
My question then, okay.
God. Anyway, I'm sorry. I had to bring out. What was I talking about?
I don't know. That was trippy.
Yeah, that guy is he's scary looking. What was
Just
this
a big
thing here?
bang. So you I've heard you talk to people. I love listening to you debate Sovereign Soul. So because I think you understand a lot of these instruments way better than me. What are these nerdy scientists claiming they measured with the cosmic microwave background radiation? And that tells us that in the past everything was like a little ball and then all together in a little point.
It's a story.
So
it's a story. I mean, how in the fuck would they know where this whatever signal they're getting is actually coming from? What it is, what caused it, any of that. It's all just fucking theoretical nonsense. It's all, yeah. Did you see this where Mount Etna was putting out smoke rings?
No, this guy's owner Mount. He's showing off. That's cool. Look at that.
Just showing off, man.
The top one is so clear. It looks like
this one right up here,
like
yeah.
a dolphin or whatever does it in the water.
That's pretty crazy. Who would have thunk, huh? What's going on, Moonbounce?
Sup?
With wood in space.
Did you holy cow, Fabio have some water. Is that Fabio or is that Moon? Is that Peanut? Who's back there? Yeah, that's Fabio. He's got to come in here and have big old glurps of water. That's what he does. Let's see. It's captured Falcon 9X. When was this out? April 6th. Nobody cares. Anyway. So did you watch the eclipse, Moonbounce?
I've seen a partial. Just the tip.
Just the tip? We've heard that before.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to see about 90% totality and didn't show up much good on. I'm going to review my video and see if I can cut out any good parts. But what I saw with my naked eye was spectacular.
Yeah, I tried that naked eye thing, and all I seen when I shut my eyes was like a big green dot, and black and red and yellow.
You gotta get your eyes used to it. Just persevere through it and keep looking. And it only takes a second because you'll want to wince away. But go ahead and squint your eyes a little bit and get yourself used to it. And then as you're looking at it, what happens for me is I see this like oscillating ring going around like this, around the outside edge. And then it's almost like a bluish white in the middle, and it's kind of like pulsating. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
I don't know, but what was really cool to me is if you did, like if I look down and to the right, it's like you could see another picture of it in the sky. And like what you were talking about earlier, some people call that a name or something for it, but it's like instead of looking at the actual where I think the sun would be, I'd look down and to the right and I could see another picture of it or another, whatever it is, a view of it where I wouldn't have to squint or nothing. You could actually see it.
Yeah. When the clouds came over, you could, the only drawback to that for me is because I was already looking at it through clear sky. And then all of a sudden, all these clouds showed up. And then it would go behind the cloud. And if it was too thick, I couldn't see it at all. But most of the time I could see it on through the cloud. And then when it would come back out from behind the cloud, then I'd have to, whoa. And then my eyes would quickly adjust back to it. But I'm used to looking at the sun too. There's Luca came back.
Luca, oh goodness.
Hello.
He's back. Luca found a shirt.
Did you find a shirt? Cool. Yeah, we don't need no.
Oh.
We don't need you enticing the young ladies out there, Luca. You know.
Like my sexy body. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You don't want to get them all worked up. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful of that shit. You don't want to
Are
be
we
getting.
still on eclipses or?
Yeah, we've been talking about the eclipse and all of the
Talking about
craziness
staring at the sun.
surrounding it.
Yeah, sorry about suddenly leaving like that.
Yeah, you took
It's
your
all
shirt
right.
off and disappeared.
Yeah, right. You just came out
Did
here
your
to show off.
girlfriend see you and just get so aroused and just had to
That's
take
what it
you
was.
away for a while?
She attacked him. She attacked him. His old lady grabbed him up. Said, "Come here." She said, "Luca, you big stud.
My
Take me to
girlfriend
bed
came
or
along
lose
and
me
just
forever."
tackled me.
She said, "Take me to bed or lose me forever." So he is. I'm out of here, guys. That's what's happening there.
Yeah, lasted pretty long time.
So you didn't get to see it. You're in Australia, so you didn't get to see the
No, I did not.
magical event. What in the fuck is this?
It was live streamed though, so
Oh, yeah,
I saw part of it.
Where'd you watch it on?
YouTube.
You watch? Yeah,
Luca.
but I mean, what channel did you watch it on?
I forgot, but I'm sure it'll be in my history.
Hey, Luca, you're in Australia. Do you have to hold your shirt down or does it just automatically fall up?
No, because we have gravity, so that's why.
In the world was those things?
Bro,
about?
yeah.
What? Look at that.
Gravity. That's the reason.
Gravity.
You believe in
Yeah.
that?
You believe in gravity?
Oh yeah.
Do you? Can you prove it? Can you show air having a downward acceleration due to gravity?
I can show mass.
No, I didn't
mass.
ask you that. I said, can you show air having a downward acceleration due to gravity?
No,
No. Okay.
but
Because it
luckily I
doesn't.
don't
Because
need
gravity doesn't have any effect on gas.
to, because I don't need to.
Huh?
Because I can show mass attracting mass.
Well, you can say that all you want to, but you can't prove it.
Well, the Cavendish experiment.
No, it
is
doesn't prove that at
evidence
all.
of
That's not even what it did.
Not even what it was for.
It might not have been what it was for.
Yeah,
but
so they said,
definitely
well, what
side
can we
effects.
use this for? Well, we can use it to say this.
It was
Okay,
definitely a
let's do
side
that.
effect, if it wasn't.
Hey, hey, excuse me for interrupting, but that's like a Viagra argument because Viagra was meant for something else, right? But then when they gave it to all them old people, boing, yoing, 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 and they were like, hey, man, we'll use it for that instead.
Yeah, it's a boner pill. Shit, we didn't even know it. Well, I forget what was it developed for? I think it was to raise
The
blood
density,
pressure, wasn't
I
it?
think. The Earth, like testing the density of Earth.
Bro,
I
we're
don't
talking
know.
about Viagra.
Oh,
Luca. I think you're right,
Oh,
Sovereign.
I
I think it was like a blood thing. Like it was supposed to be for that, but then the penis has blood in it.
Yeah, right. It's
Luca,
Gravity didn't hold that down.
but why you keep saying mass attracts mass? But in these conversations, we're talking about it like seriously. Like that's what they say in high school, so you can do the algebra, physics type stuff. But modern science, space believing people believe in space time bending, and you're saying the Cavendish experiment proved something. No, I don't know the ins and outs of that experiment, but that experiment measured a constant, right? Sovereign Soul.
he was trying to calculate the mean density of the Earth. It wasn't for mass attracting mass or any other fucking such thing. It's torsion dynamics, basically, is all you've got going on with this. It's not even a fucking experiment. Because what's the first thing before we even do an experiment, Luca? What is
observation?
Observation. And when have you ever observed masses of things attracting one another?
But the observation.
Well, no, I didn't ask you that. When has anyone ever observed objects being attracted to one another?
I ran into a really big person one time.
Okay,
I
so
guess
the answer is never,
I guess when
right?
we witness
So
things
then why would
fall,
you why would anybody develop an experiment or actually hijack an experiment from its original purpose in order to make such a stupid claim? Nobody's ever witnessed this shit happening ever before for any reason. You put two steel balls on a fucking perfectly flat surface and set them there 4 inches, 2 inches from one another. And never, ever, 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 ever are they ever going to change unless some other influence, like you moving it, is going to cause it to come together. Ever.
like that was the first instance of, you know, it was first accurate measurement.
It wasn't accurate at all because guess what? He failed at calculating the mean density of Earth.
Yeah, but the side effect provided.
What side effect for what? Oh, well, we can use it for this now. It's horseshit, dude. Come on.
Why?
You're talking to people. Listen, we've been through this bullshit before. We've been through this bullshit before.
I agree that its original purpose was.
So we know that this mass attracting mass is a load of shit. Einstein knew it was a load of shit.
No.
Yes. That's why he had to come up with his with the Einsteinian gravity principle. Okay, because it's horseshit. No one has ever seen masses attracting masses. No one.
Newton just made an observation. That's all Newton did.
We didn't. Yeah. Okay. So when have you ever observed masses attracting one another?
Through the Cavendish experiment.
No. We don't do an experiment to find out if you do. If why would you have that supposition in the first place?
Yeah.
What would give you the idea? Where would the idea of that even come from? What observation have you ever made that would lead you to believe that objects attract one another?
Technically, it came from an accident.
It came from an accident?
Yeah.
No, it didn't. So,
Cavendish
what
experiment-
observation has anyone ever seen, okay, that where large objects or any objects attract one another? Now, you can say, well, the side effect of this experiment that failed, it's not an experiment, it's an observation that doesn't always work and does not provide consistent results. We can say this. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Does not provide consistent results. Sorry.
When it's set up properly.
Oh, bullshit. And when it doesn't do what you expect it to do, then it wasn't set up correctly. Fuck you.
Well,
that's
that's
fuck you.
usually how it
No.
works.
I don't accept that. Fuck you. It's not that it's not that big of a deal, man. It really isn't. It's a worthless hunk of shit experiment. It's not even an experiment. No one's ever witnessed this phenomenon that you say takes place with this device. Okay, no one ever witnesses that anywhere in nature. Things do not collect together. Objects do not attract one another. We never see this happen for any reason whatsoever. So why would you even postulate such a thing? Because without it, you can't have your nonsensical spaceship Earth. That's why. Yeah, the apple, that was a metaphor, OTW. That was a metaphor. Think about that. The apple, the lie, the deceit. Absolutely.
I won't.
You fools are out there so fucking desperate these days trying to claim level is curved.
In fact,
I mean, that's just some of the most ridiculous shit I ever heard in my life.
Newton himself made it up.
Newton didn't even want to be associated with the fucking shit. That's why it wasn't even published till after he was dead. He thought it was ridiculous as well.
He thought
it was ridiculous.
He didn't think it was
Yes,
ridiculous.
he
He
thought
just
that
didn't wanna.
the whole gravity thing was fucking ridiculous.
It was incomplete. That's
He
why he
didn't
didn't
even
wanna.
want to be associated with it, Luca,
Because he knew it was incomplete.
because it was horseshit. That's why.
Luca, like, come on. Luca,
his
when you
theory-
drop a ball, so you think that the mass of the Earth and the mass of the ball are mutually attracting each other? That's why
Yeah.
you apparently see the ball falling, but we know it's
Yeah.
not falling because falling implies down, and in your universe there's no down, right? They're
It says
mutually
down.
pulling on each other.
Gravity. Well, yeah. The Earth, the mass of the Earth is getting pulled by the mass of the ball, and
And the
mass of
ball's pulling the
ball is
Earth,
getting
right?
Pulled by the mass of the Earth. Yeah.
Right. So apparently they're falling down, but it's not actually happening. Right? Am I saying it right?
That's one way to
Yeah,
look
but
at
everything
it. Yeah.
I'm saying is like in your model wrong. It's space-time is bending.
Yeah.
It's like you're like defending like an old thing that in your world people say is an inaccurate description of why things are apparently falling down. We're the ones
Because
saying things are falling down. We say down exists. You're like every
because
sentence you say is you're presupposing this wacky world where there's no up or down. I used to like believe all this stuff. I thought it was cool in high school, and then they're like, "Oh no, it's space-time bending." That's not even accurate. Saying mass attracts mass. So I don't understand. And then you keep bringing up the Cavendish experiment. That's not. What the fuck? That doesn't prove mass attracts mass. That's not true. I don't know.
why doesn't it?
Because
measures
it doesn't.
the
It's just a
constant.
stupid story somebody fucking made up.
But the ones we have today definitely do.
What ones of what?
The Cavendish experiment.
No, it's not an experiment. First of all, when have you ever observed masses attracting each other? So what, the Earth and shit is all a Cavendish experiment? Nobody's ever fucking witnessed any objects attracting one another unless they're magnetic. Come on.
So, what's causing the pull?
We don't.
There is
I
no
don't
pull.
know. Some people like
What pull?
argue.
Wait, what pull? There's no pull.
Yeah.
The fuck are you talking about? Pull.
The two metal balls are getting pulled by each other.
They're not being pulled.
But isn't there a
There's
magnetic?
be a force.
You know,
What's the
you're
force
leaving out the
then?
magnetic part of it. You know. and here's another thing. I say, excuse me for intervening because the conversation actually interested and piqued my curiosity, and I figured, explain to me where theory has become fact. Okay, because this still boggles my mind. We're talking about something that has not been proven fact yet, still considered a theory. So if you know what a theory is, then you would realize really quickly that gravity is not something that is actually tangible, and it has not been proven up until yet lately. Nothing. We have nothing.
Hold on.
It is still a unproven theory.
What is a theory?
The gravity thing. It's an unproven theory.
Can you define theory?
All right. Okay, now I have to bring
Gravity.
Hey, Google. Define theory.
Gravity.
Here's
Gravity
the definition
is
of
the theory.
A supposition or a system of ideas intended to explain something, especially one based on general principles independent of the thing to be explained.
Right.
Okay.
Intended to explain. It's like the possible explanation for a phenomenon.
Right.
That's one of
So
them.
gravity's
explanation for a phenomenon. Possible.
This is
It doesn't mean
this
it's
is it.
fact.
Hey, OTW, this is the deal. They've named it gravity. They've named it gravity. That's the
But it's
theory.
density
Now
and
everybody's fighting over.
anybody
Yeah,
who has
but
at least,
everybody.
yeah.
Everybody's
bit of
fighting
fucking-
over what gravity means now. They're fighting over what gravity means. They've already named it gravity. It's a theory. Now they're fighting over what it actually means, whether it's mass attracting mass, whether it's buoyancy, density. What is it actually? But the theory is they put a word to it. It's gravity. Now it's defined gravity.
It's real simple. Gravitas, weight. All right. What is weight? Weight is the relative density of an object within a given medium. Change the medium, change the weight. There it is.
Weight uses gravity.
No, there's no such thing as gravity.
No.
Well, weight uses weight? Yes.
Weight
What
equals
is weight? What is weight?
how heavy an object is
Right. How is that determined?
By
by
density.
gravity.
With a
No,
scale,
by gravity,
bro.
because if I
Density,
change
man.
With a scale.
What are you
M,
talking
it-
about?
hold on,
Okay.
it's, to get the
Oh.
weight, it's mass times gravity.
How do you get the mass? If I ask you for the weight of a ball, or what would it? Dude, it's with a scale. He asked you, how do you find it?
No, I'm going to put it this way. All right. So you have an iron anvil. It weighs 250 pounds.
Okay.
Okay. You take it out of you pick it up and you put it into a tub of mercury. Now, how much does it weigh?
It still weighs the same.
No, it doesn't, because it's floating. You can manipulate it. You can move it around with one finger. In fact, it's almost hard. You have to really force it to go under the mercury. So what I've done is I've actually, the weight of an object is nothing more than the relative density of an object within a given medium.
Right.
If the
And
medium
funny enough-
changes, what's
and
that?
Funny enough, the mercury is actually liquid, right? And you're putting something solid inside the liquid, and it's
a really
floating,
dense
which makes the
liquid.
liquid more dense than the actual
Yep.
metal anvil itself.
It's
So
a
that's why the
really
anvil is
dense
staying
liquid.
to the surface, just like air comes back from the underneath water, just like a fucking boat floats on top of water, and it will most
Archimedes
likely.
principle.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually common sense. When you think of it, it's not that hard. It's just like that band. You remember that band Kiss? Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
The people are just complicating things for nothing when actually everything is really, really, really simple.
It really is, and it is. That's what the weight of an object is. It's going to be determined by its relative density within the given medium. That's all there is to it. It's either going to be heavier than the medium, lighter than the medium, or the same as the medium. Okay, that's it.
Right. All I know is keeping it simple, like OTW says, is like that's the catch, because you can keep it simple on, well, the earth is just rotating. It's all about, okay, now he has to explain what simple actually is, because you can keep it simple in all kinds of different aspects, but what's actually fact, what's matter of fact, what can be explained, what can
What's
be
observable, what's
dismissed
tangible,
is
what can be proven, what scientific experiments through whatever is demonstrable, something that you can see with your own eyes and that you can prove through scientific method, right? That's science.
Its density is less than mercury, so there you go.
Luca, what were you saying about? You said you need gravity for weight or something. That's why we kept on going on, and we were talking
Yeah,
about that mercury thing. What were you saying originally?
It's mass times gravity equals weight.
What is gravity? How do you multiply something by gravity?
Oh my God! Yeah, what he said.
Okay.
Right, what's the
would it
equation
help
for
you-
gravity?
Would it help if I said mass times acceleration?
Dude,
That's not the same
But that's
equation.
in the
Now you're
air.
talking about the theory of relativity. It's not the same thing.
No,
the
I
theory
know what
of
he's saying.
relativity is why things appear to be attracted by each other. Like it explains why things appear to attract to each other.
They don't.
Like
Nothing
mass
appears to attract to anything.
We
What are
see
you
mass
talking
attracting
about?
Mass.
No, we never
Mass
see that.
apparently-
Nobody ever sees
apparently
that.
gets
No one
attracted.
ever sees that happen.
Mass apparently
No,
gets
it doesn't.
attracted by mass.
Then why
because of the bending of space time?
does air have mass?
Yes.
Then demonstrate it having a downward acceleration due to gravity.
That's why the boat crashed
Cavendish
into the bridge,
experiment.
Sovereign. That's it. We explain it's gravity. The boat, the
No.
fucking bridge attracted
Ha-
the boat, and the boat
Yeah.
was like it was
Have
so
look.
the attraction was so great, the
Hey,
gravity was so strong that the captain of the ship couldn't navigate it, and it just crashed right into that Baltimore bridge, and that's gravity.
no.
There, we just explained it.
Have
You guys blew my mind. I yield.
wait. Have Luca describe and give a thing on apparently because he goes apparently. Have him describe what apparently means.
Okay, well,
It's like what is this?
oh,
How does it
hold on.
apparently?
Mom's calling me. I've got to go.
All right,
Okay.
Luca.
That's
Peace,
not an
man.
excuse, by the way. Mom's literally calling me, so
All right, bro.
I'll come in a bit later. if
Peace,
you're still
Luca.
on. So bye.
See you later, cuz. How do you not?
That's what they teach you in high school, like F equals ma, and then you do that problem like you have the weight of an object, and then you do the 9.8. You're observing on average things accelerate downwards at 9.8 meters per second. Everything I said is true. That doesn't mean mass attracts mass. It's just such a
Right.
weird conversation.
And that's within this medium. Of course, we live in this medium. So we judge everything by what's in this medium that we live in. But think about it, what our physics would be if we were aquatic creatures, that we lived and walked on the bottom of the ocean. Our physics would be completely different. Completely different. Because nature's own almond. How do you milk a fucking almond? That shit'll make you gay.
No, it's the no, it won't make you gay. The almonds are not like full of estrogen like the soy milk stuff. That's why I get the almonds one, or sometimes the oat one, right? So
I
you
like
got,
oats.
What the
Eat a
fuck?
lot
is
of
that?
oats.
Almond milk is a deception.
Yeah,
it
it's
really?
80%
You never
water
know?
actually. When you come to think of it, when you look at the ingredients in the back, but it's not that bad. At least nutrition value wise, there's not too many chemicals. It's pretty natural product here. Yeah, but it's still
The
80%
FDA
water.
says
The FDA.
I have a question.
All right.
Talking about things falling down. Okay, so the flat Earth. I personally don't fully get this. Like when Witsit is talking, Witsit and stuff.
Uh-huh.
When they're talking about things falling down because of the charge, or I'm sure you get what I'm getting at. Like, how would you say like how people describe with displacement and stuff?
Right. Well, okay, so the way I look at it's this way. It's all buoyancy and density, and the electrostatics sets the condition. In other words, that's the condition's already been set, and that's the reason why. You're on the negative surface of the Earth. There's a positive charge above us. That sets the condition. It's not what's responsible because density's down. It's already the
right.
The
Solid
condition is
goes
already
down.
set. The condition's already set. Yeah.
Oh, wait, okay. So you said the Earth is negative. What'd you say? What's positive?
The upper atmosphere. I
So,
guess what they call the
I-
ionosphere. I don't know.
How, what are you saying? Like, I don't understand that. Like, how do you say this atmosphere is charged? Like, how
Yeah.
do you measure that with a tool? Like, what tool do you use? And how does the tool
You
work?
can use a voltmeter actually. You can
Okay,
use
I should have paid
voltmeter.
more
and
attention.
Yeah,
in
you'll get
high school.
more. You get more electrical potential. I think 100 meters per, or 100 volts per meter.
What does
of
that? Like, what does that
elevation.
mean? Even more. I don't even know what that means. Like, you have more electrical potential.
There's more positive charge. And there's more ions in the air. The higher up you go.
Okay. It's
Basically.
interesting to think about. For a long time, I really believed in the space stuff, and
Oh, I know. Me too.
and the it's true. Like gas doesn't attract
Well,
gas.
no.
It doesn't make sense. Like Jupiter is fucking retarded. Like what the fuck?
Gases never do that. They never do that. They
Yeah.
never form together into a gob for any reason whatsoever. I mean,
And
even the
here's the
densest
question.
part will dissipate.
Here's the question: doesn't the air pressure augment once you're going upwards?
Well, yeah,
Like, the
you get
pressure of
less.
the air still gets more and more dense. So wouldn't that help for the downwards trajectory when, like, wouldn't the air actually push you down because of the pressure?
Well, that's that. Well, kind of. I know where you're going with that, but the thing is that you've got different laws that are applying as you go higher in elevation. Okay, you start losing moisture, you start losing some of your denser gases, and they start succumbing to the Dalton's law, as well as what the fuck is that? Boltzmann's constant. Okay. And because this is a dynamic system, this is one of the things down here at the lower extremities where we're at, is where the gases are produced and exchanged. And so there's a higher concentration of it here: carbon dioxide, oxygen, all of that shit. The water vapors coming up right from here. So as you rise in elevation, yeah, you get less and less of the pressure. But the pressure you're feeling is not a downward pressure, it's displacement. So when you have 14.7 psi, that's on every square inch of your body, because you're displacing the air. Yourself and the air cannot exist in the same place at the same time. So therefore, that displacement of the medium is what's causing the pressure against your body. Same thing as if you go underwater. It's not heavy. It's not water pushing down on you. It's water pushing in on you. It wants to be where you are. Same thing with this medium that we're in here.
So it's actually forcing the air out of you and not forcing you out of the water. In other words,
Right, because we weigh more than the air itself. We're denser than the air that we displace. So if you can imagine, if you can make a perfect replica of you out of air, which one weighs more?
well, the one that wouldn't have any air at all would actually sink to the bottom, right?
Well, the thing is that you, as a material, the materials you're made of, as opposed to a replica of you. In other words, where you're sitting right now, there's a perfect hole shaped exactly like you in the air. It's
right.
Perfect, and you're filling it. Okay, but that air wants to be where your body is at. This is why it fills in immediately as soon as you move your hands around. It fills in where your hands were at, where your body was at, everything. We're just used to it. So it's filling in all the time, and we're continuously feeling this pressure against us. It's due to displacement, not downward acceleration of gases. That's ridiculous.
Right.
I have a statement. Now, when you claim, let's just think there's a circle, there's a sphere around you. When you downward displacement, let's take an arrow and run it around a sphere and run it up, like, let's say, a fan, and put it down on you. This is where they come up with the downward displacement, or whatever you're saying, the downward force, because when you're pushing down in a containment, it goes out from, let's say, your feet, it goes up around and comes back down on your head. And so, in that optical thing of when everybody has their own personal sphere, when they look into the sky, when you're pushing down, it goes out and it comes around and pushes down back on your head. So it could be a downward displacement.
Sure.
It
like
could
this.
be
Look. See where this box of cigarettes is at, right? Like I just pointed out, there's a hole, and that air wants to be where that hole's at. So as soon as I let loose of it, it's heavier than the air that it's displacing. So it goes downward. And what happens to the hole where this was just now at? It filled in rapidly. It filled in rapidly behind it. It filled in completely rapidly behind it. Now we've also got the drag of it going against the medium, but the force of the medium filling in behind it, just like if you draft behind a semi down the freeway. you'll actually save gas because that thing will start pulling you along. You'll get caught up into into where all the air that truck was displacing as it moves along. That air is rapidly filling in behind that truck. And if you can get into that chute, that air will pull you along. You'll save a shitload on gas. You're muted, OT.
Yeah, like a vacuum, right? It's like it's creating some sort of vortex where the vehicle behind it is actually being pulled into the vortex. And
right. It's Bernoulli's principle. Okay. What's going on is it's not so much that the air is sucking. There's no sucking that goes on with a vacuum. It's pushing of the outside atmosphere. Like you've seen the train car that they lower the pressure inside of it and it goes chunk and it just immediately collapses, right? It wasn't being pulled in from the vacuum, from the lower pressure inside. It was actually pushed in by the greater pressure on the outside.
So can you see the thing with Luca going, it's pulled, and you go, no, it's not. Can you see that disconnect with people and understanding whether it's pushed or pulled?
Right.
Just
it's easy to see. It's easy to get confused on that, but there's a real good explanation of that too. Where I've seen a guy, he takes this thing, it almost looks like one of those cheerleader cones, where they could yell through, and he puts a piece of rubber over the end of it, and then he puts a hose on the other end and starts drawing the air out, and you see that rubber start caving into the inside of the bell. It caves into the inside of the bell, and he's showing you that that's not being pulled in. That's this outside air pressure is pushing that in, trying to fill that empty void, trying to equalize with that lower pressure on the inside. Everything wants to stay equal. Everything wants to equalize. If it didn't, we wouldn't have
and it's
weather.
one of the reasons why they build these super thick and strong containers to contain compressed air.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't explode.
What was the experiment about the hose and the rubber band or something?
It was it's that old guy. I showed that old guy, an old physics guy on here before. What's his name? Sumner. I think I got him somewhere on here. Let me see.
What was the thing he did?
He was showing about air pressure, how it works. Let me see. Let's see. That's the answer. There. Here we go. Matthew Bryant. Dun dun dun. Newton's first law. Let's see. Adventures of Bernoulli. Newton's second law of motion. Here, I'm just going to put the channel. I'm just going to put the channel down here, and you can go check it out. He's got some really good experiments he does. I'm going to put it over here in the regular chat too. I've showed him on here before. He's got some pretty good ones. Let me see. There's one that I thought was really cool.
I've been thinking a lot about what you've been talking about things falling down, and I think it really helps. It really helps me understand like the behavior of gases and liquids.
Mm-hmm.
Why do solids hold their rigidity compared to liquids and gas? Like, what is it about the substance itself that makes it more rigid than
molecular bonding?
Okay.
So like gas molecules are not bonded together, so they succumb to Joule's free expansion of gas molecules.
Right.
Okay. Whereas water's a little bit different, although it still holds to many of the same fluid principles, right?
Yeah.
But as we know, liquid and gas are two different states of matter. And the gas is the one that gets them. Now, of course, they both need a container because they are, of course, fluid, which means they will, fill an area, right?
Right. And you're right. The water is special in that perspective because it can hold 3 states of beingness, if you want to call it that. Like when it's at a certain temperature, it's hard as ice. When it's at its natural state, it's a liquid form. And when it's evaporated, it goes into as gas.
Watch here what happens with this thing. Here's your gravity. Watch this shit. This is this thing gets shot 200 feet up in the air, man.
Oh boy.
Because it broke loose. And that's how it is. And the buoyancy, the displacement, pushing that thing up out of the water. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
The displacement forced that to come up out of the water like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be on that little boat. That
So that's the water wanting to take its rightful place in the ocean. Out that piece of ice, which is not as dense as the water.
Right.
And now that it's not locked to this huge mass of the cliff or whatever here, on the shoreline, once it broke loose, then it was able to succumb to the displacement.
So
I think that's cool to
see,
tell.
it's still simplicity in its purest form because there's no gravity here. You get it? You know, it's like when we're showing that clip, you're not seeing gravity. You're seeing exactly what we're explaining in its simplest form. It's like, you know.
This is the guy, Julius Sumner Miller. And this is pretty cool. It's only like 15 minutes long, but this guy's kind of exciting. You'll like him. He reminds me of one of my science teachers in school.
All right, let's watch. This is hype.
I got PTSD with the PBS symbol in the corner.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls?
Oh my
I'm
God.
Julius Sumner Miller, and physics is my business. And our business today has more than ordinary enchantment, and I will go at once to it. Consider the following. I have a tin can with some water in it, under which I have put a burner, so that the water has now been boiling.
God, he sounds like the professor in the Bugs Bunny show.
Condensed, and we call it steam, so that what remains in the vessel now is some water, less than before, and some water vapor.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to take the burner away and stopper up the can, and we will witness an astonishing and absolutely astonishing thing. If we
Condensation.
listen very carefully, we will hear a certain flexing of the can. What is happening? Some of the water vapor is condensing. The pressure is getting less in the can, and the atmosphere is taking hold. And atmospheric pressure is an astonishing thing. I will hasten the process by pouring some cold water on it. And this is an experiment you can do with
and then
absolute
it'll crush
enchantment
it.
yourself. Here it
I've
is.
actually done
I
that
am going to
before.
take the burner away. I am going to stopper this up.
This guy's so
I'm going to
animated.
put it down here.
Oh my God.
Listen. Oh, but watch it. I'll hasten the process.
Bang! That crap.
Oh, there it is. Let me turn it around. There it is.
Oh,
And I say that is something to bear witness to. That is
That
fantastic. The push of the air, staggering in its consequences for the human race. Now listen. The water is boiling inside that can at reduced pressure, at a much lower temperature than 100 degrees centigrade, because the pressure inside is less than 1 atmosphere. This is fantastic. Fantastic. Let me show it to you another way. Here I have another tin can.
He's gets really excited about this shit too, man.
Yeah,
Really
imagine what you could do with your skin now.
And I'm going to connect this tin can to a vacuum pump, which permits me to pump out some of the air, and just a little of it. I could never pump it all out. If I pumped for 1,000,000 years, I couldn't get it all out. Why? Too many molecules in there. But let me. There it is. There it is. There it is. The push of the air. Staggering to witness. Staggering. Show it to you another way.
It's all the paint thinner he's been sniffing all week.
Take a look at another piece of apparatus. I have a funnel. A funnel. And across the top of it is a sheet of rubber tubing, as from an automobile inner tubing. The air inside is at atmospheric pressure. I'm going to connect the vacuum pump here and reduce the pressure inside from atmospheric less and less and less and less. And the rubber sheet, suffering the forces, the push of the air, will be depressed inside deeper and deeper and deeper. And indeed, if it can endure the reduction in pressure and the push of the atmosphere, I shall be surprised. Very likely, it will be torn apart. Here it is. There's the rubber tube. I am going to connect this. Now, I'm going to reduce the pressure. There it is, getting pushed in. There it is, getting pushed in. Oh, man, this is something. I'm going to stop it a minute. Let's get a tight shot, if you will, of that. And notice the enormous push of the atmosphere. Fantastic. Now, I'm going to evacuate more and more and let the push of the...
Do you notice that it's not pushing down, Luca? You notice that the atmosphere is not pushing down?
Well, air
pushing
pressure
in.
pushes in all directions.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, push that more and more, and I'm going to step aside because when this does indeed burst, it has a detonation which could, well, unseat this building. That'd be very good.
God, look at that thing's really going in there. That's stretching the shit out of that.
Kaboom!
Oh, I like to do this once in a while because it adds to the drama of the matter. It adds to the drama. Oh, there it went. There it went. I hadn't expected it, really. But notice the enormous forces of the air. How enormous? Well, only about 15 pounds per square inch at sea level. Let me remind you of the consequences. The ordinary human being has about 3,000 square inches of surface. 3,000 square inches of surface.
Anyway, he goes on to just he just talks about the displacement aspect of it, and that's on every square inch of your body. That's touching your whole body.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right, and I'm glad to hear you go with that, Luca, because the claim is that the air pressure is due to the downward force of the air due to gravity, but we see that that's not true.
Well, it's when you're surrounded by air, it's like very, very incredibly less dense than water. Air is way less dense than water.
Yeah.
So being surrounded by it's like it's kind of like being submerged completely in water, but instead of water, it's air.
Right.
That's what's going on.
So the air is not pushing down on you; it's pushing in on you.
Yeah, it's all
right?
directions. All directions.
Okay. So if it's pushing in on you, that means it's not pushing down on you. If the air if air was pushing down, then when he turned that funnel on its side, it would have started trying to crush that into an oval. But it didn't. So that's a load of shit about the air being attracted by gravity. It doesn't work.
He was changing the air pressure inside the thing, wasn't he?
That's right.
Yeah.
And so the air on the outside was pushing in. And the easiest way for it to push in was where the rubber was at. It's going to take the path of least resistance, right?
Well, yeah, that would be the easiest path.
Yep, it's going to take the path of least resistance. So no matter which way he turned that thing, it still affected the rubber, even sideways, not pushing down.
Yeah.
So there was
But
no
no matter
downward.
which way he turned it, the
So there was
effect would have been
no
the same.
there was no downward pushing of air. We have no,
No matter
and
which
you
direction.
remember the guy in the vacuum chamber, right? The little Superman figurine.
Oh yeah, it got heavier when the weight
Yeah.
was removed, when the air
So
was
when they
removed.
removed the mass of air from the chamber, the object actually got heavier. So what's going
but
on there?
That was due to the elimination of buoyancy.
Well, yeah, I know. So how can something make you buoyant if it's pushing down on you? That's bass backwards.
Yeah, but remember what I said before about, the air is like a very less dense than water, and
Mhm.
when you're submerged in water,
Yeah.
and have a
But there's
bucket.
there's supposedly a downward force of air.
Yeah, but if you have a bucket.
Well, if there's a
in
downward force of air and I remove that downward force, how can the object exert more force onto the scale?
It's like when you have a bucket full
I
of
know how
water.
buoyancy and density work. I'm trying to figure out where the fucking downward acceleration of the air comes into play.
But notice how, if you have a bucket full of water,
Mm-hmm.
it's very heavy. But if you submerge the bucket in water,
Then it doesn't weigh
it
anything.
becomes very light, even though it's full of water.
Right. Yeah, I know. Buoyancy and density. I understand.
Yeah.
Neutral buoyancy. Absolutely. Right. So
So
no downward acceleration of air.
So you.
So
you
no
agree
downward
that buoyancy is
acceleration
a
of
thing.
no downward acceleration of air. We just showed that.
Right. And isn't it in somewhere like there was an experiment where they had thrown like a tennis ball and a bowling ball, and they were all both descending at the same speed.
That's true. They accelerate towards the Earth at the same rate. That's true.
Right.
All solids,
Right.
which is why I'm still trying to wrap my head around fully understand how things fall down. And I find that I find solids way more confusing than liquids and gases. Like, because
Here,
I have a question, Sovereign. Like, what? So you
here's the
say you have a vacuum chamber, one half has, and you open up the door, and the whole thing neutralizes and to have equal pressure throughout the
Mm-hmm.
volume. Sound right?
Mm-hmm.
What if I asked you why does gas do that? What do you say?
Because they're not bonded. The molecules of gases are undergoing what are called perfect elastic collisions. Okay. And so as they dissipate, they'll start to dissipate as they run into less and less things to collide off of. This is why a certain type of a gas, for instance, will start to dissipate instead of collecting together or staying together, because those things are moving around. They're all moving around. And so they're bouncing off of each other. So they're within this gob here, and they're bouncing around against each other. And these ones that are going here and not hitting anything, and more of them are going over here and not hitting anything. And then pretty soon they dissipate all the way out. It's because the molecules are not bonded together.
So is that is that your definition of perfect elastic collisions?
Yeah, it's
Or
rudimentary.
elastic collisions?
Yeah.
Perfect elastic collisions. What does that mean?
Let me show you a cool
I'm
thing.
not.
Play with
Is
here.
anyone else here globe, or is it just me?
I think just you, Luke.
Okay.
So
sad.
when we say, like, in the global world, we say a vacuum, and we say that's basically like a volume without any air, any matter in it.
It's privation of
Technical
matter.
vacuum.
It's privation. It's a privation of matter.
It's as close as a vacuum as you can get.
It's just because, Luca, like when Sovereign Soul is asking you, show me gas, downward acceleration of a gas, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How would how would you show that to him? Because I'm also thinking about this stuff. I personally don't believe in space at all. I think there's like a big fundamental difference in how geocentric people and heliocentric people think about vacuums, because we also think there's like
Right.
the ether. Like you can get rid of all the air in a space, but there's still that ether, and light can still, like, there's still stuff there. You can't just do that with a vacuum pump
Wait.
and say I made
Show
a
show a
volume
perfect
with the absence of anything in it. You know, you can't
There's
really.
there's no way.
show a perfect lactation or whatever of collision. Show that perfect
Mhm. You see it all the time with any
elation of
gases.
collision.
Okay, here's a
Any
pretty
gas.
good question. Here's a pretty good question. Can a bubble of air be trapped at the bottom of the ocean?
I'd
Is
say
that
yes,
possible?
Yes.
Well, then you have your answer to where we're living, you know, in a sense.
Right. In the private chat and also in the regular chat, I put in, it's a really fun, cool toy to play with. You want to learn about gas properties. It lets you play with two different densities of gas.
Like
you can heat it, cool it, expand the volume, decrease the volume. There's a whole bunch of cool shit you can do, and you can kind of understand what's going on with these gas particles.
Does it take? Can you add any other forces to it?
What forces would you add to it that would be applicable?
Gravity?
Show me a gas law that uses gravity.
None do.
There
Well,
you go. So there's your answer. Why
actually,
would you have
wait.
one if none are ever used?
No, I think a couple do, but most don't because
No, none
my
do.
God,
None
Luke.
do. None do.
Why would they?
Here, hang on a second.
Well,
Here.
think about, you're asking him, do they add any extra forces? And then you're saying like gravity, like like when conversationally people talk about gravity being a force, but even in high school, they teach you like that's a word that describes mutual attraction between two objects. It's not a push or pull. Like, so what are you even asking? You're asking, can you add the force of gravity in this like computer program about gas laws? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't
Well,
think so.
it's a
It's so weird.
most gas laws. Why would they use gravity? Because gas laws are gas laws.
You tell
and
me.
Gravitational laws are different. So gas
Well,
laws.
if gravity affects
them
gases,
can.
Luca, if gravity affects gases, why isn't the gravitational constant included in any gas laws?
Well, why would it be?
Right.
Well,
Heat.
why wouldn't it be?
Heat is the only thing that affects gas is heat. Heat affects it, not gravity. Only
Right.
heat would affect the gas.
Heat,
Right,
cooling.
because the gas will change its molecular structure all depending on its temperature.
Oh, did you guys hear Sean Hawkins doesn't have a channel anymore?
Who the hell's Sean Hawkins?
I don't know.
Good. That's exactly. Hey, there's Flat Soy's perspective. Well, yeah,
Exactly.
a bunch of people in here. Logical observations. Bill Wall. I didn't shout out my people here, man.
Oh, hi.
I saw this
Flat Soy.
the eclipse, and it made me crap my pants. Is with us here tonight. Jono Edwards, Anson Howard, of course. Let me see who else I got up in here. Kevin Barber's with us too. Chaos Code, Quasar. Let's see. And as I'm going to call him out as I see him, Chicago Cubby Bear. Jeebus Crisp is here. That's what she said. I saw that. You nut. Julio Lua. Good to see you, everybody. Yeah, no, that's the reason they don't. And look into the private chat right there. And also here in the regular chat, I put a link to like all the gas laws. So you can go ahead and see if you can find one where they use gravity for anything. And they don't. The reason they don't is because even if gravity existed, It has no effect on gases.
Should I
Page no-
post the reason why they don't in chat?
I'm not allowed to have this information in Canada, Sovereign. Page not found.
Here you go.
Oh, really? Gas laws? Really?
Yeah, I'm not
I'll
allowed
post
knowing about
why
that
they
here.
don't in chat. I'll post why most don't in chat, such as Boyle's Law and Charles.
Yeah, I already know why they don't, Luca. It's because there's no need, because gases are not affected by gravity.
How about that? Does that explanation make sense?
Most gas laws, such as Boyle's Law, Charles' Law, and Ideal Gas Law, do not include gravity because these laws are designed to describe the behavior of gases in relatively small scales where the effect of gravity on gas particles is negligible. No, it sounds like horse shit to me.
Okay.
It does. It sounds like complete and utter fucking horse shit.
Okay.
Again, oh, it's too big. That's what she said. So to all you people that say, oh, it's too big, we can't prove this because it's too big. Santa Claus lives at the North Pole, so you can't go check on him. Suck my dick. That's what I got to say to people with that shit. Okay? If you can't demonstrate it with any kind of logical, scientific evidence at all, then it's just nonsense bahooey made up by your overlords there, Luca. Sorry, I don't know what else to call them, but that's you have a really unhealthy, unwarranted trust in academic authoritative sources.
If that program did take gravity into account, yeah, you'd see like a change.
There's no demonstration of gravity doing anything to gas, large or small scale.
Was that Flatzoid?
Yep.
Hello, Flatzoid.
Yeah, man. It just doesn't happen, bro.
Just like, gravity don't affect birds and butterflies and flies.
A fucking bumblebee. Now that's something amazing. They can fly straight through a wind. Doesn't affect their course or nothing. They create like this little vibrational bubble around themselves, man.
Well, actually, I've seen that many of them get blown by the wind.
Sure you have. Sure you have, Luca.
Yeah, you probably have like 3 trillion bumblebees. Yeah, that's like your pastime.
Shut the fuck up, Luca. You'd say, if I said shit tastes nasty, you'd say it tastes like strawberries. I swear to God. Jupiter. Yes, what is Jupiter? How could Jupiter be a gas giant? Once again, I challenge anybody to demonstrate to me gases forming together for any fucking reason whatsoever. Any reason.
Jupiter is Peter in the Bible, guys.
Gravity.
Think about it.
No, we already determined, Luca, that gravity doesn't have any effect on gas. You just keep saying that because you're stuck on it. It doesn't affect
I've seen
gas.
a bumblebee. I've been to the mountaintop, and I've seen a bumblebee get blown by the wind.
Yes, there it is.
Hold on.
I've walked on the rice paper and
blown by the wind.
What, Luca?
Hold on. Why wouldn't gravity have no effect on gases?
Why wouldn't gravity have
Why
no
would
effect?
it?
Because gas has mass.
So what?
Because gravity doesn't exist. That's why it doesn't affect gas.
How do you measure the mass? This is a question I would. How do you measure the mass of a gas?
Yeah.
Because you're using mass. Like you can do the pressure. That's a force.
Right.
But,
You can measure the pressure, but not the like
we can measure
mass.
the weight.
There is no mass.
Only if
gas.
you contain it.
Gas has weight.
Only if you contain it, and it
How would
has
it look?
to be at a pressure higher than what's outside of the containment.
Yeah,
If
like
you
describe
can-
the process, Luca. Like how would you even do that?
Scuba tanks. Scuba
Scuba
tanks.
tanks.
How do
have
you
gas
know
in
that you're
them.
not weighing the?
Because when it's full of gas, it weighs more.
Yeah, but isn't
but
it
it's like gas is
only if the
too raw.
pressure inside the tank is more than what's outside the tank?
Yeah, and the gas
Right.
is going up.
Yeah, that's the only time it's going to have a weight of the air in there. And here's another thing too, right? Why are you having to use a tank?
Well, it'll be very hard to, almost impossible to measure
That's
gas
right.
weight without
That's
one.
right.
You have
because
to
in
build up
order
the
to
pressure
have
to
a-
be able to have access to the air and the pressure coming from the tank. So obviously you have
Listen,
to
here,
have a
it's this
buildup.
simple. It's real simple, man. It's real simple.
Yeah.
Okay. In order to
Oh.
have a volume of gas, it must be contained. Okay. There's no other way to have a volume of gas. Because as I pointed out, there's this thing called dissipation due to the elastic collisions of the gas molecules. Okay.
Yeah.
This is why a
Right.
fart doesn't stay hanging there all day and night and 10 years later. Okay. It dissipates. Why? Because of the free expansion of the gas molecules. Okay.
Right. And if
So-
you relate to what Sovereign's saying right now, if gas needs containment, then we live in a contained environment. We live
Yeah.
inside of a container.
Well, I'd say contained environment, not a
Because how
container.
else would you want the gas, to stay where it is? Like the oxygen that we breathe is another form of gas. So it's like, how would you want that to like be here if we didn't have some sort of containment around us? Thus,
we do.
firmament.
I'd
Firmament?
say a contained environment, not a container itself.
Well, wait a second. Is Earth an open or a closed system?
It would be an open system.
Can't.
It
Then how
allows
would we?
everything
Then how
inside.
could we?
Now,
then-
where would you?
then-
How would your? If it was an open system, your gas would dissipate into nothing, and then how would we breathe?
Well, normally it would.
Well, of course it would.
Normally in
Anytime
fantasy
it
land,
would.
it doesn't.
But we have a container of sorts, don't we?
What?
Yeah.
What is
That's
the?
literally
What is
your
the
belief.
container?
There's no container.
You're probably not going to like the answer to this, but the container
Well,
is
if you say gravity, then you've not been paying attention because you've still not
Gravity!
been able to demonstrate. You've not been able to demonstrate air having a downward acceleration due to gravity at all. You've not been able to do it.
But you've never been able to demonstrate your firmament.
Do I have to show it? Hold on, wait a
We
second.
just did just by pointing out the fact that gas needs a container.
If I'm sitting in
But
front
we
of, if
have
I'm sitting down to eat and I'm eating a fillet of fish, okay, a nice big piece of white cod, right? Do I have to see the fish in order to know that fucking meat came from a fish? No, I don't.
The
I don't
taste
have
of
to
it
see
would
the
give it
fish.
away.
I don't have to see the fish. Okay. I don't have to see the fisherman that caught the fish. I don't have to examine the net that caught the fish. I don't have to know any of that because I have fish in front of me, cooked and breaded, and it obviously came from a fish.
An AI fish.
Now put that logic.
Quacks like a
in,
dog, walks like a
you know,
dog.
why gas
Probably a
laws
dog.
don't include gravity. But put
Well,
that
you
same logic.
we already know that gravity has no effect on gases.
God. Yeah,
You're
Luca,
back.
you
You're
purposefully-
looping, Luca.
We don't need to know everything.
Whoa! Wait a second.
What
You
about
cannot
you?
postulate physical impossibilities and then just go, well, we can't know everything and claim all the bullshit we do. Because now we got to look at this impossible sun, which is supposedly this huge 836,000 mile diameter ball of hydrogen that somehow collected for some reason.
That's burning in a place that has no oxygen, and usually fire needs oxygen to fucking
Oh my
function. So I mean,
No,
that's another thing.
Luca.
That's not what we say.
Luca, you
you
got
don't
what
say
you
it's
wanted. You
fire.
changed the topic and you
not
said to
fire.
Sovereign Soul, prove the firmament. When we were asking you for a proof of a container with a gas
Gravity.
without a container, you keep being sneaky
No.
with your language and switching between container and saying a system that contains gas or whatever.
Yeah,
We know what
that's
you
what we
believe. You believe in space. You don't believe in a container. Sovereign Soul got you to admit
Gravity.
you can't have gas without a container.
Gravity
You know this in your
contains our
heart, but you won't say
atmosphere.
it. You literally said
Gravity
it on accident because Sovereign
contains.
Soul had to force you to say it.
No, gravity contains our atmosphere.
Wait a second. No.
Oh my God! You
No,
gotta
it
be
doesn't.
fucking
Hold on,
kidding
wait.
me!
Luca. So you do have a demonstration of gravity containing gas or a volume of gas without a container? You've got evidence of this? You can show this? You can demonstrate this in repeatable,
Yes.
demonstrable experimentation?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, step one is to know that gas has mass.
Okay.
Step two
Mhm.
is to know that gas has weight.
Okay.
And step three is to know that mass attracts mass.
Okay, so that's a really cool postulation. That's a really cool hypothesis. Now, what would be the next thing that you would have to
Experimentation.
do? Experimentation. Cool. So now
Design
show
an
me
experiment to test the
demonstrable,
hypothesis.
show me a demonstrable, repeatable experiment that will of air having a downward acceleration due to gravity.
Now, why wouldn't the Cavendish experiment work here?
Did he hang air? Was Cavendish hanging fucking balls of air?
But
No, shut up about fucking Cavendish. Was he hanging goddamn balls of air? Yes or no?
No.
All right, then shut the fuck up about Cavendish.
Doesn't need to.
Show me
Why would
No. You're hypothesizing. Demonstrate gravity pulling air.
Well, gravity.
No, don't hypothesize. Show me an experiment, repeatable and demonstrable, proving that fucking air is pulled by gravity.
Or any form of gas.
We don't need to, though.
Yes, you do.
Why?
Because otherwise you only have a hypothesis
No, we
with
have
no
mass
demonstrable
attracting
proof of. You are hypothesizing verifiably impossible physical conditions.
Why is it impossible?
You need a container. You admitted you need a container to weigh gas and stuff.
You have failed to demonstrate gravity pulling air.
He's being disingenuous now,
Man, I don't
guys.
like
It's
saying
at a point where
gravity-
he's
Gravity
he's
gives
shown that he's
things weight.
shown that
Gravity is
he's
the reason why
intellectually
weight
dishonest, and you pointed that out, and now he's peddling. This is what I'm seeing. He's just peddling and
No,
playing around.
gravity is the reason why things have weight.
Yeah, but like, okay. You know how when you have a balloon,
I can't
what happens
believe
if you
this
put
guy.
a balloon on like a scale? You're not weighing the air inside. And then with a balloon, like you can just intuitively see that the gas molecules are pushing up. Like, so you're not that force on the scale. It's not like all the gas molecules are pushing down with the weight. And it would be the same thing with that scuba example earlier.
And notice when you're hold on a sec. Notice when you're filling up a balloon with the same air that's in the same, like in the room with you. Let's say you're breathing the same air into the balloon that's in the room.
Yeah.
The balloon will not rise. It'll
Yes,
stay,
it will,
pretty much, or it'll float around, or it'll drop. It'll stay.
It'll drop, yeah.
Yeah, it'll stay at the level of the air that's in the room with it. But if you put helium inside of it, all of a sudden the
It'll
balloon
go
will
up.
start floating because the gas inside the balloon is not as dense as the air that's surrounding the balloon.
Well, I got a statement. It also goes with, hey, Luca, it also goes with, you say gravity is what dictates weight, but it's the same thing as earlier. If you put an anvil in mercury, you can't say gravity dictates weight and say, well, the anvil weighs the same,
Right.
because it doesn't weigh the same in
And
that
and
medium.
right. And to get back to the helium example, how come the gravity is not pulling on the rubber balloon to bring it down, even though the helium and the air pressure difference is pushing the rubber balloon upwards? So the gravity doesn't make any sense right there.
So like okay, what's like styrofoam and okay, imagine you're holding two balls, one made of styrofoam and the other made of solid rubber.
I'm holding two balls. Stop it.
I'm
right.
holding mine.
We're listening, Luke.
Got them in my hands. Keep going.
If you push both balls into water, the styrofoam ball, which is less dense, will float easily, while
Yep.
the rubber ball, or more dense, will require more effort to push down because it displaces more water.
Now explain that's gravity.
No, they both displace the same amount of water.
No.
Yes.
The rubber ball.
Yes.
The
The
rubber
only
ball
difference
is more
is
dense.
that one is less dense than the water it's displacing.
The
That's
rubber
all.
ball is more dense.
But the water if you put those two balls in two different glasses with the same amount of water, the water will fill up to the same line. The water will rise in the glass to compensate for the air that's being replaced by the ball,
Oh my
or
God,
the
Julio,
or not
you're
the
a
air, but
bully.
the space.
Luca, I have a question. In your world, mass is stuff, right? It's kind of hard to define, right? It's like stuff,
Yeah, mass is
and then weight is
anything.
the force. Like weight is the force, and it's caused by gravity, right?
Weight.
It's newtons. Like when you do give a weight, the units in newtons, and then mass
Weight is
kilograms.
mass times gravity. So yeah. Weight would be
Mass
mass
times
times
acceleration. Yeah.
Or
Anyway,
one of those
but
two.
right.
I'd
So
say
with
gravity.
solids, you can tell. Obviously, there's stuff. You can tell with common sense. There's mass, and then with weight, you can prove it has weight with a tool, with a scale. You can measure it. How do you do it with air? Because and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in a geocentric world, you wouldn't say air has weight, right? It would have mass because it's common sense. It has stuff, right? I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with how I'm describing it, but
How much does a cubic foot of water weigh underwater? Or a cubic foot of air
Nothing.
weigh? How much does a cubic foot of air weigh underwater?
Less
I'd say
than
about
water.
200 pounds. Sovereign's like,
It'll get shot up.
You know what? Here,
Imagine-
Sovereign. Let's put it this way, all right? It's it's like in the immortal words of that bunny rabbit in that cereal box there. It's silly wabbit. Gravity's for kids.
Mm-hmm. Without it, though, their whole fucking thing falls apart. But they're talking about impossibilities to begin with.
yeah, there's lots of ways to debunk it. It's just interesting, Luca. Talking to people that think mass attracts mass.
Yeah, no one has ever witnessed that at all.
Of course
And that's
not.
what I think
Even
is so
in
hilarious
any
about
given aspect. Like, and think of the biggest thing that you can think. I always think of a ship. And why don't ships attract each other in the like in the ocean? They're big masses, like, or two different icebergs. How come they're not attracting each other and coming closer to each other because of gravity? Or you know what I'm saying? It's like that's the kind of idea comes to mind when these people come up with these theories or whatever, or concepts of how gravity works, right? Mass attracts mass. It's like, how come I'm not attracted to the wall? Well, how come gravity's not pulling me over to the wall? It's like,
do you know
it's
that?
like,
You know,
Exactly. If mass
it's
attracts
only
mass,
pulling
everything
me
would be a
down to
ball
my
right
floor,
now.
but it's not. I'm not attracted to the wall. I'm just attracted to the floor.
Right.
Yeah.
You ain't drinking enough if you ain't attracted to the wall.
There you go. You get attracted to the wall, you got a problem.
Well, it's a pretty good looking wall when I come to think of it. It's a pretty good looking wall.
So they ask a bunch of people what in 2009 at an international conference on physics education, this author asked the participants to answer the question, what Cavendish did in his celebrated experiment. And the optional answers were found the mean density of the Earth, measured the gravitational constant, calculated the mass of the Earth, or all of the above. Which one was it? A lot of people said the most popular.
None of the above.
The what?
None of the above.
None of the above? Okay. Well, it says the most popular answer was the second one, measured the gravitational constant, but that was wrong. The correct answer was A, not chosen by anyone, found the mean density of the Earth. So there's a bunch of his documentation of this. He did determine the mean density of the Earth. He did not determine the gravitational constant. He did not calculate the mass of the Earth. So, and he certainly didn't show air.
I won't deny that was the original point of the experiment.
Right.
To determine the density of Earth. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
But let's do you know the formula for Newton's law of universal gravity?
Wow. You can make a formula for like how big Harry Potter's wand is.
And this formula would be the reason why you're not attracted to the iceberg, or the iceberg's not attracted to another iceberg, and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's not based in reality.
But it is.
No, it's not. It's created from a presupposition.
No.
No, yes. It's
What do you mean,
created
no?
from a presupposition.
No. Well,
Yes.
we can observe it to be true.
No, you can. Yeah, because it was already. They just said, "Oh, we'll just make a formula around this." How the fuck How are you gonna figure out the density of the Earth when you don't even know what the fuck it's made out of, man?
You probably don't even know how big it is.
Yeah. Right.
We can use what
First of all, with the
Altusman
equations
did.
that they gave us just to measure curvature, right off the bat, you have no fucking idea what the size of the Earth is because it's all wrong.
Eratosthenes.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
another one. That was not measuring the
Holy shit.
that doesn't prove the Earth was round. That was assuming the Earth was round and then doing a bunch of math. Why do you guys always
Which it
do that?
worked. It worked there.
No, it didn't.
You guys
Where'd you get
predicted
your R
something-
value? Where'd you get your R value at?
Right.
Well, that's what was determined.
No, how? How was that determined?
With sticks
Yeah.
and shadows.
Well,
Oh
no.
my god!
that-
Oh, you
yeah,
gotta
go
be
into it a little
fucking
bit
kidding
more.
me, man! With sticks and shadows, guy. Come on. Dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
As long as Lucas got two balls in his hand, he can figure everything out.
And a third well.
With two sticks.
Yeah.
Luca, but you know that, right? That experiment, like, first step one, you assume it's round.
That experiment works as well as on the flat Earth model as it does at the globe model. So that it's stupid.
Well,
Not
it
proof
was-
of anything either way.
There was already evidence for
Right.
What
It
assumptions-
doesn't prove
Wait a
anything
second,
either way.
wait.
Exactly.
the plan.
All right, Luca, what assumptions were made with Eratosthenes?
He assumed the Earth was a sphere
Uh-huh.
because there was evidence first.
Where was the evidence of that? Where was the
Evidence
evidence
of
of that?
what? What
I know
evidence?
what Google says if you
The
Google
Earth
it,
being a
Luke.
sphere.
Yeah,
What was
right.
the evidence
Google
of
would
that?
say
Come on, I
boats
have
over the
Google ready to go,
horizon and
man. What's the
Polaris.
question?
What was the question?
Why did the ancient Greeks supposedly assume the Earth was round? If you Google it, it says because boats over the horizon and they couldn't see Polaris if you keep going south.
Well, yeah, that's definitely one main
That's two.
reason.
That's right.
Well,
So,
two.
but
Okay, two reasons.
right, like we're saying we don't think it's round, and then you keep saying, what about this math problem where we first assume it's round? Why are you doing that?
And we assume that the sun is very far away. And we assume that it's very large. And we assume that the sun rays are parallel. And we assume.
Isn't
A bunch of
making
things.
assumptions
But when you
scientific
visualize the sun rays coming through the clouds and you use trigonometry, that the sun isn't that far away. And you can easily
Making
use
a-
trigonometry to figure out how far the sun actually is from the point that you're at with the angle of the freaking sun rays. It's not that complicated, right?
making assumptions is part of the scientific method.
That is, yeah, but wait a second. Wait a second. If you treat an assumption as a fact,
They don't, though.
they did,
Really?
because that's where your whole
Yeah.
Aristophanes bullshit came from. He
And your
assumed-
gravity bullshit.
Wait.
They
He
assumed
he assumed
and if that was the case, then this would happen. So they designed an experiment to determine that, and the experiment worked, which was evidence for.
And this
the
experiment
benefit.
is
How did it
what
work?
is this experiment?
The sticks and shadows one?
Right, how did it work?
They put like a stick in one place and a stick in another place.
And they measured something, right? This was
shadows.
ancient Greece, right? They measured something. What'd they measure?
The shadows, I believe.
Right,
Yeah.
I know, but the overall grand thing, we're like, damn, this guy's so smart. He predicted this. What did he do?
What do you mean?
You don't know because you think that experiment proved that it was round, and now
Right.
we're at like we know this stuff more than you.
Right.
Like it's frustrating because it's like that experiment isn't even. It's irrelevant. It's like we ask you to prove that it's round, and then you say, I don't know, like
It's
I ate
like
cereal this
Groundhog
morning.
Day with you people.
Yeah.
So they made assumptions, and anytime you use an assumption in the formulas that you're trying to use, guess what your answer is? Assumptive. Okay, garbage in, garbage out. Ego. That's how it works. Okay. Now, if it was so accurate, then why have they gone from calculating the sun's distance at 3 million miles and now we're at 93 million miles? This is after going up to 102 million miles. So
Because it wasn't. He was very close,
it was what?
but it because
He was close, you said, right?
Close?
wasn't-
Only off
it
by
wasn't-
90 million?
Also,
no, it wasn't like that. They used a different model back then, though.
Well, so what? Is that how did they calculate it then? What do you mean model? We don't live in a fucking model. We live in reality.
No, a model
Well, that's also
describes
that's subjective, all right?
No, I'm
Until
serious.
yet
We
to be
don't live in a
proven.
model.
Nobody really knows that we live in reality. We could be living in a simulation. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, that would be.
Luca, so
I'd have no
you-
way to debunk that.
Luca, you think that this ancient Greek guy Aristophanes that he I guess you could say he calculated the Earth's circumference like almost real accurately, right? And that's why it's so impressive and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So so now you're saying now in modern times we really know the circumference, right? Like we're even more accurate
Yeah.
than Aristophanes. Okay, how'd you figure that one out?
We have better. Technology's gotten more advanced.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't get what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
We don't even believe in this. We would want to, like, step one would be start remeasuring things, like go to the supposed South Pole, see things. Like, you guys are against us even double checking who's right about the cosmology. If this stuff was right, like day one, you guys would be like, what do you mean space is fake? What do you mean you can pop out the other side if you go to the South Pole? Like, you guys just ignore the ridiculousness of the conversation. It's insane.
You can see here we've got Copernicus said 3 million miles. Okay. And Tycho Brahe said 13 million miles. And of course, Kepler said 13 million miles because he killed Tycho and stole his work. Then Newton come up at 28 million. And when he changed it to 54 million, he was quoted as saying, whether it be 28 million or 54 million, it doesn't matter. It suits our purpose. Very scientific thing to say. Then in 1754, Martin came up with 81 to 82 million miles away. And then in 1869, this Encke guy came up with 95 million. Then later, another guy comes up with 104 million. And then finally, they settled upon 92 to 93 million miles. So that's only 100 million miles difference. Now, what advancements in mathematics or optics would there be
we have
justify an accounting error of 100 million miles?
Well, we have an elliptical.
This is
orbit.
where people.
Oh my God.
Sovereign. Wait, before you answer, Luca. Okay, this is where people trade in common sense for absolute insanity, right? Okay.
Yeah.
If you're too dumb not to see through what Sovereign Soul just showed you, it's like there's no hope for you. It's like we're throwing pearls to the swine. There's absolutely no reason why we should even be here right now. You know, it's like, it's just, I mean, Sovereign just summed it up in one little picture right there. And it's like, I'm like blown away. My mind is like, I'm convinced now more than ever that all of this is a bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean? Come on, man. How can it be more obvious than that? You're just like, if you continue being disingenuous like this, Luca, it's just like intellectual dishonesty, man. You're not seeing things for what they are, man. You don't read between the lines. You just don't get it.
Think about this. Think about if this was an accounting firm. Okay, all these guys, Copernicus, I like to say his name that way. Tycho, Kepler, all these guys, right? They're all part of the same accounting firm, right? And they were all wrong. Money.
They were all wrong.
I mean, each one of them got a different fucking answer, and one of them's got you up to $100 million. The other one's only got you at $3 million. Who do you believe, right?
Well, like analogy time. Okay, imagine you're holding a string attached to a ball. That ball would be Earth in our case. Okay, you start spinning it around you.
Yeah.
If you spin it in a perfect circle, the ball maintains a constant distance from you. Yeah, that's true. But if you move your hand, if you start moving your hand in an oval shape while spinning the ball, there will be moments the ball comes closer and moments when it moves further away. This is similar to the
which means that it slows down, which means that it's going slower when it's closer and has to speed up as it gets further away in order to maintain that 15 degrees an hour movement. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Sure.
That's not the rotation, that's the orbit.
Yeah, well, either way, none of it makes any goddamn sense. There's 100 million miles. Luca, it's 100 million miles, Luca.
Okay, fair enough.
100 million. That's not just, we were off by a few thousand. Now we've got it down to within 4,000 miles. Fuck no, man. They went all the way from from 3 million all the way to 105 million and then back. You know, I mean,
it's craziness.
You know,
I mean,
that's what's
back
really
then,
that's what's
they
really
had no
weird. No,
tools for measuring the
hang on,
distance to the
Luca,
sun.
Luca,
So,
Luca. That's what's really
you know,
weird
they had
because if you
really
had an
nothing to
accountant,
help them measure the
if
distance
you
to
had
the
an
sun.
accountant,
And
Luca,
then,
Luca,
they
Luca,
did
Luca, if
a little while later they did,
Luca,
you know, the thing with Venus, you know, triangulation of it.
Luca, hey,
He's
hey,
spinning
Luca,
and
if you
cycling in
had
his
an
insanity.
accountant, I know it. If Luca had an accountant telling him,
Triangulation.
hey, now your taxes are
That
this
helped.
much, but they were that much, and Luca was hearing his accountant tell him everything Luca's saying, Luca would believe it. His accountant's going, hey, but you know, the elliptical thing of this and that is why now you have to pay this much to this much. And if Luca was listening to his accountant tell him exactly what he's saying, it would be like, Luca would be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, my taxes are now $93 million instead of
And his accountant
$32
would be
million.
having vacation in the Bahamas more often than him.
Aw.
come on, bro, you're making excuses. Making excuses and they're lame. I mean, none of them hold any water. They're really lame excuses. Balls on strings swinging around your head and shit. Come on. Why do you have to have the string? Oh, that's right, because it'll go in a linear direction if the string breaks and it'll fly off and hit something and break a window. That's why. You not understand. I don't, you know, wow. Some of the impossible shit you got to believe. Do you believe in cartoons? I mean, do you think
do you
that if a road runner runs through a rock wall, that it'll leave a shape like the road runner? I mean,
Well, if it had enough force, then yeah, it would, I guess, but no.
wow. Have you ever shot a gun, Luca?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what moving projectiles do when they go through objects? They don't leave a perfect shape of themselves.
Well, they do.
No, they don't. They bust apart the shit. Okay. And depending on what the material is, things are not going to go like, for instance, an airplane's not going to fly into the World Trade Center and leave an airplane shaped hole. Do you believe that's possible?
Well, the World Trade Center would be falling apart, so.
Do you think that an airplane could crash into the World Trade Center and leave a hole shaped like an airplane?
If
I do.
In theory, yeah.
No, in reality. We already know how your theories work. Your theories involve all kinds of unicorn bullshit that is impossible. I'm talking about in reality.
Well, in reality, no, it wouldn't.
All right, there you go. See, so now at least you're not hopeless. At least you're not hopeless. You do have some fundamental understanding of physics.
Because, you know, as soon as it hit the building, it would start crumbling apart. So it wouldn't be a perfect hole. But
here's what would happen. Here's what would actually happen to an aluminum aircraft that's smashing into a steel and concrete structure. It would have broke all the pieces and fell to the ground. It would not have penetrated the building.
Sovereign, so I haven't looked much into what do you think caused those two big red explosions for the Twin Towers in the beginning? Like I have
those were a distraction. I think it were just explosives.
You don't think it was like a missile or something?
No.
Okay.
No. I think it was just explosives, maybe even shaped charges to make that airplane shaped hole, because there's a lot of retarded people that think that that's possible. But but that was a distraction away from the rest of the controlled demolition.
Right.
Look, if you talk about the World Trade Center Tower number 7 that collapsed 29 minutes after then yeah, that one might have been. That one very well could have been brought down on purpose to.
They
hide
all
stuff.
three of them were brought down on purpose. What are you talking about?
I don't think.
Oh no.
I don't think the first two were brought down on purpose.
There were what hit them? There wasn't no airplane.
plane.
You got to be
plane
shitting
hit
me.
them.
You don't really think an airplane hit the fucking towers, dude?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my god.
But the seventh one, this World Trade Center Tower number 7, I do believe there might have been something going on there. Yeah.
Hey,
I
that's
do believe
something,
that
dude.
about that one.
All right, now you're gonna tell me
Nice
that you
to
got
hear.
jabbed up with that too. Imagine, you followed that narrative as well.
I did get jabbed by a syringe.
There we
with
go.
COVID-19.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have
That's
it.
what I was pointing out. That's what I was pointing out. And here's what got me. Here's what got me. You got a bunch of people saying, don't listen to people on the internet after they just got back from getting a shot from a guy in a goddamn tent in a parking lot. That they didn't
I mean, they were qualified.
Holy shit. Don't
They
listen
were
to people on the
qualified.
internet.
Gravity drew him to it. Gravity drew him to that parking lot.
I mean, it's like, come on, man. You just came from a fucking makeshift awning where a guy just jabbed you with God knows what. And you
I trust my mechanic to fix my car. I trust the plumber to fix my plumbing system.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't. I don't.
trust
You're a fool. You know what I
you.
do? I look at the reputation. I talk to a few people that have had that contractor or that plumber or that mechanic. Because just because somebody's a plumber or a mechanic, does that make him an honest person?
Like, obviously, you'd look at the star ratings as well. Like, I do that too. Obviously, you would.
Well, there you go.
Look
So
at
why
what
do
the
you automatically just believe some motherfucker come on TV and tell you some shit and you already admitted that you believe them because they told you that the guy's got a degree or a PhD or some other nonsense, and that's good enough for you.
Why would they lie?
To make fun of you?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Do you not know about the depopulation?
Watch, Sovereign's gonna throw himself out the window, guys. Come on, man. Stop it, Luca.
Okay, maybe. Okay, so I'll tell you this.
What?
There might be.
Let me just ask you something. Let me ask you something.
to
Luca.
prevent
Let me just
that.
ask you something. Let me ask you something. I'm just going to put this on a real fundamental level. Maybe you'll kind of understand it. Why would they lie? Let's see. Were those jabs free?
Yeah.
They were. So the companies just put those out there out of the goodness of their hearts and gave them away to everybody? Is that what you think?
Well, obviously, the government was. Obviously, they were getting paid by the
That's
government.
right. So they were getting paid, right? So the company wasn't just out there giving that shit away for everybody to have because they were nice and then they care about humanity and all that, was it?
Well, doctors should care about people.
Well, I'm not talking about what
Yeah,
should be. I'm
they
talking about what
should.
is.
Right.
I'm talking
There's
about
a
what
difference
is.
between your imagination and what's really happening.
So, do you think that there could possibly be a profit motive?
Not
involved
for
there?
all, but for some.
Not for all. Not for all. You don't think it was highly suspect that hospitals received a certain amount of money for diagnosis and they received even more money if somebody got put on one of those ventilators? And then if somebody died, they got paid another amount of money? You don't think that was
People
kind of
have different
suspect? They didn't
motives.
make any money off that?
You can't
Right. You
find a
didn't find it
single motive
suspect that
for
they had
every
commercials
person
on the
in the world.
radios manipulating people and telling them if they didn't go get jabbed up that they weren't allowed doing shit like going to the movies or going shopping or whatever kind of activity that was not allowed as a free human being to conduct as
Well, wait a second. Let me
a
just
man
get
on the
this
land.
straight. So you think, Luca? Then you think that whole thing it was just out of the goodness of their hearts, of the saintly people at Pfizer and these other companies, because they care about humanity so much.
Well,
So much that
yeah.
they put asbestos in the baby powder is how much they care about humanity and shit. Right.
They put
And you
fluoride
really
in the
believe
water.
that that's what they did? Do you really believe that that's what went down? That's why all that took place? You can't think of one fucking motive why they would lie to you about some shit. Really?
Yeah. Why would they put fluoride in toothpaste, and why would they put aluminum in fucking deodorant? There's a lot of questions that could be asked,
Mhm.
but people just don't.
Isn't-
They go ahead and buy the products and use them,
Mhm.
and then they go see doctors
Isn't
because they feel
fluoride-
ill,
fluoride
just
and
because of the
aluminum-
products that they've poisoned themselves with, right? And then they
Right.
start asking themselves, "How come I got cancer?" Oh,
Right.
well, sorry, we just bought the products that
well,
made you.
look, Patrick, here's the thing, man, and we've got this Food and Drug
Fluoride.
Administration that that these people are looking out for your best interest. They would never take a suitcase full of fucking money to approve something, would they? That would be
No.
just, oh, fuck, no. How dare you offer me a big suitcase full of money to approve your bullshit
Right.
out there?
CEOs are uncorruptible and unbribable, and
Mhm. So
there's no
forthright
corruption
and
at
honest.
all whatsoever. I mean, we
They're always
live
so
under a
forthright.
righteous,
Yes.
dictatorship. Yeah.
I mean, fluoride and aluminum can be both of them can be found in apples as well. So
There's a
Do you
difference
know
between
why? Do you know why?
why?
Because they put the fucking shit in the water, dumbass. What do you think the trees drink? What do you think the apples come from? What are they spraying up above us that's coming down all over the place? Of course there's going to be fluoride and aluminum in a fucking apple. You think it's naturally occurring?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that fluoride and aluminum being present in the vaccine is not evidence that it's bad for you. Because
Nobody said anything about it being in a vaccine. I'm
No.
talking about it being in everything.
But if aluminum deposits in the brain are one of the major causes of fucking Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
the amounts, though.
Why have
The
any?
How the fuck did they
Why-
get there
why
in the
do you
first
have
place?
any?
Yeah.
Hey, well, a little bit of shit wouldn't taste too fucking bad. So it'd be all right to have just a little nibble of a turd instead of taking a great big bite, right? That's your thinking.
That was pretty funny.
I mean, that's the type of thinking you're talking about there. Why do we have it at all? Oh, it's only a little bit. It's only a little bit of deadly poisons and shit. Don't worry about it.
It's healthy.
No, it's not healthy.
But too much can kill you.
Just tell me how it's healthy.
Fluoride.
Fluoride is the main ingredient they use for rat poison, dude. How is that?
Prozac.
How can that be healthy?
It's in Prozac too, man.
Fluoride isn't toothpaste.
They even tell you when you brush your teeth not to swallow the toothpaste. You know?
Yeah.
Call poison control.
Why?
For real? Oh God.
Come on, dude. You cannot be
real.
that fucking all in.
Because it's for your teeth, not to be
No,
swallowed.
it's not. There's no clinical
Fluoride.
clinical evidence of fluoride doing shit for your teeth.
What do you say?
Show me it. Find some clinical evidence of fluoride being healthy for your teeth.
Okay, I'll look up some clinical evidence. For
There
fluoride.
isn't any.
Yeah, work on that, bro. You might
Let's
be
have a look.
surprised. My goodness, man. He might wake up, Sovereign.
He won't. He's all in, man. He's got people feed him shit to say.
He's going to get AI to prove it.
You put something from AI in the private chat, and I'll kick you the fuck
Hey,
off of here.
let's try it right now. Let's ask Google. Hey, Google, is fluoride good for the teeth? And is there any proof of which?
On the website hsph.harvard.edu, they say, fluoride is a trace mineral naturally found in small amounts in a variety of foods. It is most recognized for its role in preventing and reversing dental caries and building strong teeth and bones. 1. Most fluoride is absorbed in the gut and stored in bones and teeth.
Okay.
Oh, that didn't help.
Fluoride in my gut.
Yeah, and it's stored in your bones and in your teeth. Interesting. So
Do you ever
now
see
ask
people who got
yourself
them
why your
little?
teeth fall out of your mouth.
Yeah, listen, I have all dentures. Fluoridated water my whole life. Didn't do shit. Didn't do shit. Doesn't do anything. It's the main ingredient in Prozac, I can tell you that. So I don't know, man. I don't think we need it.
They test these things.
Oh, I know they do, Luca. They tested it in concentration camps, man.
Luca, we think it's malevolent. Like we think they're on purpose hurting people.
Do you think that? Do you think your leaders are trying to help you?
Yes.
How do you?
You're
what
out
have
of
they
your
done to help
mind.
you?
Well, they're definitely helping me because they're paying me money.
What? So what? They're stealing your money.
So you're getting a welfare check, and it's like, oh, the government is going to bow down to the government.
So you receive stolen property.
No, I'm getting a disability pension.
Your disability comes from money that your government steals from its citizens.
No, it taxes. It comes from.
What do you think taxes are?
People paying taxing for that?
Well, what if they don't want to pay their taxes? Then what happens?
They have to. They have
Well, what happens if they don't?
Then, if no one pays for the taxes, then the businesses will go under.
Oh my God!
No, I don't think so, sir.
They'll
How
be
about
no
living
power.
free like men on the land? How about that? How about not having anybody impose any type of fucking tax on you when the only one who should be taxing you would be God?
So wait a second, Luca, listen. All right, so tax money is not supporting businesses. Okay, that's not what that has. Tax money is stolen from businesses. Tax money
How do you get that?
Well, what happens if they don't pay it?
They get fined.
Oh, they get fined.
Oh
What if they
my.
say, kiss my ass, I'm not paying the fine? Then what do?
They go to jail. I don't know.
So then it's not voluntary at all. It's robbery.
Yeah,
So
what if you
a
say
man,
no to going
if
to
a
jail?
man tells me to give
No, we
Wait
the
a second.
contracts
So
in the
if I
home
walk
that
up to
we
you,
buy.
and I say, give me your money,
It
and
is a
you say
contract.
no, and I pull
That
out
we
a
sign.
gun and I say, give me your money or I'm going to shoot you. Okay.
It is a contract that we sign.
No, it's
when we
not a
buy housing.
contract. I never signed any such fucking
We
contract.
bought housing. You bought a
What?
house. You bought a house.
Yeah, what does that say? What's that? That's an agreement between myself and a private individual regarding my home.
It's just
How
common
does the
sense
government
that you
get
pay
involved
tax.
with that? Where did the government get involved with me purchasing something from someone else? How did the government get involved in that transaction? And what
Well,
role did
the
they
house had
how
to
did
be
they
built.
support it? How did they support it in order to earn anything from me by doing that transaction?
The house had to be built.
Yeah, and there's people
Yes.
out there that build houses and they get paid money by the people who want the house built.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Where does government come in on this? What's
Like
their role?
electricity and water.
Well, wait a second. That can all be provided. What if I don't need electricity or water? I've got a well and I've got my own generator. Now what?
Well, you'd be paying less because
What?
you,
No. The government doesn't provide my electricity.
power lines.
No, that's not the government.
Do you want solar? Do you have solar panels?
No, it's not the government. The power lines are not the government.
Do you have solar panels?
No.
Let's say he does. That's not the point. What we're
How
trying to
does
get.
government come into this? Where is their role in this, in any of this? I have a private transaction that took place between, let's say I was buying a house from Patrick, okay? And Patrick says it's this amount of money. And I say, okay, Patrick, here is this amount of money. I give it to him. He signs the deed to the house over to me. Now, where does the government get involved? And why?
The government throwing taxes.
What are you talking about? Taxes, robbery. Call it what it is. It's robbery.
Because he's a sovereign. He's still indoctrinated with the overarching system that's overpowering his mind and exactly.
I'll have to look it up.
All right,
No, make it personal. Make it personal. Saab, say you bought something from Luca. Say, Luca, you're selling me a house. Bring it to Luca and then go, Luca, where does the government have anything to do with you selling me your house?
Well, here, how about this? Let's say I buy a house from you, Luca, right? And you say, okay, here's this amount of money. That is how much I want. And I say, okay, Luca, here's that amount of money. And you sell me the house and assign over the deed. And then Patrick comes over and says, hey, I couldn't help but notice that you sold that house to that guy. And I think that you should give me some of the money that he gave you for buying that house. Now, what would you say to Patrick? How is Patrick entitled to any of the money that I gave you for the house?
Well, I'm using.
How would Patrick be? Answer the question. Pay attention. How would Patrick be entitled to any of the money that you got from the sale of your house? I bought the house. Patrick just comes over and says, I couldn't help but notice, Luca, that you just sold this house for X amount of dollars. And I think that you should give me a certain percentage of that.
Because I own the road that passes in front of the house.
Yeah, and if you don't, I'm going to throw you in jail.
Right. Or I'm just going to shoot you.
Yeah, it's not violent. I mean, that's basically it. It's backed up by threat of violence. And anything like that that's backed up by threat of violence is, of course, not voluntary. And all contracts should be voluntary. They're supposed to be voluntary. So the real cause answer is that Patrick has no claim to any of our business transaction. So how does government step in and say that they have a claim?
Capital gain.
What?
Capital gain.
What's that?
Like when you sell a house,
yeah,
more than you paid for it.
Yeah.
The profit you make is considered a capital.
Yeah, but it's my
gain.
profit. It's my profit. I'm the one that sold it for the amount of money that I asked,
which is
regardless
often,
of what it was worth. How does anybody else have anything to do with that?
Which is often subject to taxation.
Why?
Profit.
Why is it subject to taxation? You mean theft? What if I say, no, I don't agree that you are entitled to any of the money that I received from that? You're not entitled to it. You didn't do anything. You didn't have anything to do with the transaction. So I'm sorry, you have no claim in it, government. Then what do? They come and they exact violence on you, don't they? Yes. So it's robbery. So if you receive money that is robbed from other people, then you are receiving stolen goods. You are receiving stolen property. And you're just as bad as the person that stole it from them.
The government makes things safer.
What do you mean doesn't make things safer?
Through the guise of safety, ladies and gentlemen. Through the guise of safety.
How does that make things safer? Safer from what?
Like
Looks to me like the only person the only ones that are threatening me are the ones that you say are trying to make me safe. Those are the motherfuckers that are threatening me.
They're the ones stopping you on the road, depriving you of your rights, right? And taking your property from you and invading your homes with these special warrants that permit them to walk into your house with the permission of
this other human being that just signed a piece of paper, and then these individuals show up at your house, it's a piece of paper, and all of a sudden they can walk in and do whatever the fuck they want. So you explain that to me, where your rights aren't violated over and over again every single day, right?
Oh, yeah, you can't. It's all violence, every last bit of it.
The message I sent in chat. There you go. That's capital.
Well, yeah, I understand all about that. You get these services and shit, but I don't need them. Now what? I don't want them. I don't want your police force. I have my own protection. I don't need your fire department. I have my own protection. I have a company on standby that if I have a problem, I can call them and they'll put the fire out. Okay. And then I pay for it after the fact. Right. Got them on retainer. I don't need none of your shit that's disguised as legitimacy to steal from me by creating a monopoly on services and giving yourself a reason to rob me for it. That's bullshit, man.
Well,
if you're receiving that shit, then you're just as bad as the people that are stealing it.
It's kind of mandatory, though.
What? How's it mandatory? What do you mean? What's mandatory mean?
Well, tax systems.
Do you know what mandatory means?
Participation is mandatory, so you have to.
Okay, I'll go with that. So what I said still holds. You obviously don't understand what mandatory means.
Mandatory if you're a willing participant of the system. Yes,
well,
I
that's
agree.
right. A mandate is a strongly worded request that is only valid upon agreement by the requestee. In other words, hey, you, wear that mask on your face. I can say, kiss my ass. Okay, I don't agree to your contract. So that's what mandatory means. Doesn't mean you have to. This is a strongly worded request.
Well, yeah, but some places during COVID wouldn't let you in without wearing a mask.
Well, that's
Therefore,
because they knew that most of the people were too damn stupid to understand what a mandate really was.
Wearing a mask would be mandatory in that case.
Yes, and it was.
Yeah.
And it was. And what did I just explain? It was mandatory. What does that mean?
Like, mandatory, you have to do it, right?
No. No, you don't.
You have to do it or they don't let you in.
You don't have to do it. No, mandatory does not mean you have to do it.
Then they don't let you in if you don't do it.
Well, that's then they're breaking the law. Okay,
Right.
Mandatory means it's a strongly worded request that is only valid upon agreement by the requestee. That is from Black's Law. Okay. Now, what they did was coercion, which is illegal. So they coerced you into complying with the mandate by withholding services from you or denying you entry, which is a violation. So that's how that works.
Well, actually, they can refuse service to anyone.
Well, yeah, that's a private industry, of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But there again, it doesn't denote what who is this government and why do we have them? Where'd they come from? I didn't decide to have one. How come I have to have one? How come I have to have these assholes? What's going on with that?
They fund goods and stuff.
No, they don't fund anything. They steal other people's money and then fund things, whether they like it or not. That's called robbery. What if I robbed you? What if I robbed you at gunpoint and I took all your money?
I wouldn't.
All right,
like
now
that.
let's hold on a second. I took all your money, but then I walk across the road and I buy you a sandwich from the Subway store and I bring it over to you and I give that to you. There you go. That's on behalf of me. Aren't I benevolent? I just robbed you, but look at you got a sandwich out of it. So that's what they're doing. Break your legs and then think you're going to be grateful because they sold you a crutch. Do you know how asinine thinking that is?
Look, that's like debatable. Okay.
No, it is. I know it is. It's because all that shit just is in your mind, bro. It's all in your mind. That's what the whole word means. Governo mentis. Control of the mind. Because you have to, in order to believe it, you gotta, it's a belief system. I mean, if I ask you right now, who's the government? Luca, who would you say? Who's the government?
Well, since I live in Australia, we don't technically have a government. Do we? Oh, we do. Okay. We do have a government.
Hold on, wait a second. Who are you talking to? Who are you with? Who are you with, Luke?
My mom corrected me.
Can you help in a minute?
Yeah.
In about 10 minutes?
Yeah. I have to go soon.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a government, but who is it? I mean, if somebody came down and said, "Hey, I want to meet your government," who would you take them to see? Would you go see the trash man or the dog catcher or your local representative or who?
I don't know.
There you go. See,
Well,
because it doesn't
if
really exist.
I was him, I'd present them my mother because she probably governs everything.
No, I mean, but there it is, right there. That shows you what you've got going on.
It's probably located in Canberra.
It's who?
The government. I'd locate you to the Parliament House.
The Parliament House? Who's in charge of that?
The Senate.
Yeah, but who's in charge of that? Isn't that a whole bunch of people? Isn't that like a whole bunch of people and they don't even agree with each other? So what? It'd be like taking them to go see a schizophrenic uncle, right?
Well, Queen Elizabeth kind of died, so we don't really have.
She didn't kind of die.
Yeah, so we have nothing left actually to present to them.
That's why they're looking for another one. I don't know who's got it though.
Queen Elizabeth. Well, they got Prince Philip. He's King George now, I guess. Right?
Do you know what Prince Philip? For Prince Philip to become king, basically his entire family line would need to die. So I don't see Prince Philip becoming king.
And didn't they already coronate him? I thought they did.
Did they?
King Charles will be the one on the money by the summer. Yeah.
Yeah, King Charles, not Philip.
Well, I thought they were going to call him George once he becomes king. I don't know. Listen, their crap is Philip is dead. Yeah, he assumed room temperature quite a while ago. Fucker was walking around looking like Nosferatu for the longest time. Anyway, man, a scary looking bastard. But yeah, we're up on 3 hours. I think I'm going to cut it off. It's about late enough. That's good.
Sounds good, man. It was an honor to meet you, bro. I'm also going to go. I got to go to sleep. Got work.
Right on. Well, thanks for coming up, Luca, Larry.
Bada boomba.
And Luca, I like you a lot. People like you, Brenda, that they actually stay. I hate when rounders they just insult and leave. You're awesome.
Thank you.
You guys are all cool. I'm gonna go. I gotta go to sleep myself. Peace. Bye bye.
Right on.
Peace.
All right, guys. All right. Well, you know what they say, Lord loves a working man. Don't trust Whitey and see your doctor and get rid of him. Let me know what you thought about the eclipse. Do you really think it's the moon? I certainly don't. And it didn't blind me. I watched the entire thing. No eye protection, none whatsoever. So maybe I just got a fine glassy thing over my eyes most of the time. So that's probably helps me out. All right. Well, good night, everybody. We'll see you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Welcome to all the new people. Tried to get through. There's Renee Bernays has been here. Good to see you all. Jono, Saddlebum, all my people, Memorial Gardens, Mike Finnan. Good to see everybody. And we'll see you next time on Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. Y'all be good out there.